We're
I've
live.
been there. I've been there for 20 minutes. I don't know what Brad's talking about. Not my fault.
Well, I didn't say anything. You didn't hear me complaining. Johnny's running a couple minutes late. He's slamming shit together right now, getting the system set up. Probably internet problems, but Johnny will be here.
And no, nobody worry. I'm not homeless. I've been working from home, and I hadn't shaved, and I don't give a fuck. So we're pretty swole. So
Well, I am homeless, so anything helps. Find me on Patreon.
send them a GoFundMe.
Get on my OnlyFans. You know.
And I want to apologize right off the bat. Some of the movies I'm going to talk about tonight are garbage. I mean, not every one of them, but I'm trying to go through my Screen Factory shit. So probably the next few of these you see from Potts Movie Dungeon on my side are going to be a lot of shitty Screen Factory titles.
Well, sometimes those are the best reviews.
I got a lot to say about one of them. There's a lot of interesting shit to say about. Well, actually, I got a lot to say about all of them, really. But yeah, man, these are some absolute bottom of the fucking barrel, stinky shit from Screen Factory. I'm fixing to talk about.
What's up, Johnny?
What's up, man, dude? Sorry, that was my fault. I couldn't even sign into my shit there for a minute. I was like, "Oh God!"
You ain't gotta tell me.
What's going on, buddy? Hey, John, do you remember back in the day when I told you I was going to get all the standalone releases? And you was like, dude, have you lost your fucking mind? And you know, I did lose my fucking mind because I'm watching some of these fucking movies I chased after like crazy. And dude, a lot of these movies are just absolute fucking trash, dude.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely trash. But live and learn. Live and learn. Very expensive lesson.
There you go.
But,
well, the main reason we wanted to do this one so quick after the last one is we all saw Maxine. I'm curious to get everybody's thoughts on it. And so everybody knows, we'll say this again, we're going to spoil the fuck out of it. So if you haven't seen it and you want to see it really bad, you don't want the spoilers, it's going to come up. It's going to have to come up because the ending is a huge point of contention for a lot of people. And, you know, me also. So I really want to know what everybody else thinks about it. So we're going to spoil Maxine. I'm sure a lot of people read reviews. I don't know, Johnny, I think you told me your theater was empty, wasn't it, when you went there?
Yeah, it was me and the wife, and like one girl walked in, and she was probably like 15 minutes late to the movie. I think she just probably got lost and had nothing else to do and was like, fuck it, I'll go see this.
Got out of another movie, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, my theater was the same way. We went on Sunday afternoon, holiday weekend. Well, was it a holiday weekend? No, I guess not. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was
a weekend. But there was only maybe 10 other people. I mean, hell, we had 6 with us, but there was like 10 other people in the theater.
Yeah,
so
that's a decent number. I know when Steve went, he got pre-screening of it, and he said his theater was packed, but it was a pre-screening. You know that. You know.
Now the theater itself, when you pull in the parking lot, was absolutely fucking slammed. Couldn't find a parking spot. Yeah. It's because there's 2 animated films out right now. You got fucking
Inside
Out 2, and one other one I don't remember.
Despicable Me 4.
There you go. Yeah, so everybody was there with their kids going to see that. So
there was not one other person in the theater in Backass, West Virginia, where I was watching the movie. But I swear to God, that's like my new thing. I'll try to go out of my way. Like here's the big city. Where is there a theater 20 miles out of town I can go to that's barely playing this? It doesn't even know what the fuck it is. You know, so I can be by myself. But so my info on nobody being there, I don't think anybody goes there anyway. It was a shame because it's kind of those old school theaters that were kind of like made for kids, where it's like a spaceship inside, like that's somehow still in business that should have went out of business 25 years ago. But good. It was a good. It wasn't like run down or anything. I mean, outside it was, but the theater equipment still worked real well. And I don't know. We'll probably go into that first after the chat because we've all seen it. At the same time, we'll just all talk about it and get it out of the way. But I'm really curious to know what. See, like Johnny is the eternal optimist, so I really want to hear what he has to say because I was not the biggest fan of the movie, to say the least. So
yeah, I was pretty let down myself.
But the same thing kind of happened when I watched Pearl. And I called Johnny up and we talked about it. And he pointed out stuff that I didn't catch quite that made me like it more and want to see it again. So we'll see what happens there. But I hope the people that want to go see it, watch the stream later, whatever. But it will be spoiled 1,000%. Let's catch up with the chat and get going here. By the way, before we go through the chat, did you guys what trailers were playing when you guys saw it?
Of course, Trap.
Trap.
What was the one I told you last night? Fucking, it looked really good with Hugh Grant.
Heretic or Hectic or
the one with Hugh Grant. I showed that one. I thought that was so good.
Yeah, it's fucking 9.5 weeks or 9.5 months or whatever, 9 months. Hugh Grant is back in a horror movie that's like
4 weddings and a funeral or some shit, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, like weird concept, but interesting for sure. I don't know what the hell it could be, but
The Crow, that was another one.
Oh, was that in there? Yeah, I didn't see the
fuck me, there's like 6 or 7 of them in there last night, man. There was one that I was definitely just trying to think of what the hell it was.
The new Zoe Kravitz movie, where it's about this like party island where people get amnesia or something. I saw a trailer for that. The big one was Trap. I saw the second trailer, which I hate when they do this. M. Night Shyamalan did it for Knock at the Cabin, where he cuts kind of an ambiguous trailer that makes it look really cool, and then the second trailer just shows fucking way too much. That's kind of what happened with Trap, but I still want to see it. It's not going to stop me. But yeah, I don't. It's like Johnny was saying, that girl just rolling in 15 minutes late. When there are people at my theater, I swear to God, every one of them shows up a half hour after the start time. You know what I mean? Like when the hell did that start? It's like usually you want, at least in my day, you want.
I promise you that's not me.
Yeah,
I'm the motherfucker's gonna be there for the lights go down.
I want to see. I want to get the right seat, and I want to see the previews. And
maybe it's another thing where it's like it's purposely done because we're all pretty much seeing everybody's attention span pretty much go to shit, where they're just like, okay, it's it's like 104 minutes. Fuck that. Like I'll give you 64 minutes, but I'm not giving you a full 100 minutes.
I'll show up a half hour fucking late just to make sure I miss some of the fucking movie because I'm not watching all this. I'll wait till it gets good. I guess that's what it is.
30 minutes late. It's done build a little bit of momentum by then. There we go. This popcorn's only gonna last so long, bitch. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's another point. Because if you're getting snacks and shit, it's gone by the time the fucking movie starts anyway. If you're just sitting there waiting for the thing to go dark.
Yeah.
Or it's ice cold by the time the thing starts. I mean, how's that going to work?
Like Alan said, though, I think like the rule of thumb is still like at this point over whether like just being an adult or just being so adamant about it. It's like, no, we got to be there like 15 minutes before the fucking lights go down. Like I'm not looking for a fucking seat in the dark. You know what I mean? Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah. About the way it's got to go.
What pisses me off, you got assigned seats, and the movie starts, and you got a whole empty fucking theater, and some dumbass buys a seat right beside you. So what the fuck? Yeah.
And then he's one of those loud eating cocksuckers. Motherfucker just chomping, just smashing the shit.
There's a trick you can do. You get on the app, and the seat beside you, the 2 seats beside you or whatever, you get on there and put them in your cart. And you have like 8 minutes to buy the tickets, and you keep doing that shit until the movie starts. Motherfucker thinks the seat's taken. Just a little, OCD trick.
Forrest
Gump. You got the fucking guy who's like sitting over there, like stomping on a box of Ritz crackers and shit with his foot just to break them up. And you're like, "What are you eating? Fucking chili?"
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's tough to ask anybody under a certain age to not be on their phone, to not. They don't get it. And the worst thing is that if they do want to be on their phone, they'll leave the fucking volume on, of course, which is the worst. But even worse than that, I feel, is leaving the brightness all the fucking way up. It's like putting a fucking lamp on in the middle of the theater. Like, at least have some couth. If you're going to be on your phone, turn the fucking brightness down. Turn the sound off if you're going to play on your fucking phone. Just sitting there playing Angry Birds at full volume with the brightest fucking light ever. It's just it's ridiculous. If a murder is not legal in this country, unfortunately, because if there was, that was exactly what it would be. It's like, Jesus Christ, turn your brightness down. I'm not even telling you to turn your fucking phone off. Just turn your goddamn brightness down.
The plot of the movie like starts to thicken. And here this bitch is behind you trying to explain to the babysitter where the SpaghettiOs are, and they're like, "Bitch, they're in the microwave." Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. Like I said, I like to go to those out of town theaters now. All right, let's catch up with our chat. Full-blown AIDS. Oh, yeah. It definitely was not Alan's fault. It wasn't
definitely mine.
fault. Technical difficulties. Shit happens. But that's a great channel name, by the way. I mean, the thought. You don't even know. I had whiteboards and shit, writing all kinds of stuff all over it. What can I do? Ken Carlson is talking about the pre-order for Hitcher 4K tomorrow. So this is probably tonight at midnight.
There we go.
A lot of those will be ordered. And I guarantee there'll be a lot of doubles ordered.
You know it.
Yeah.
There are going to be a lot of flippers for that bitch right there. But yeah.
I wonder if Second Sight's going to do the thing they did with the Texas Chainsaw set where you get exclusive features if you order through them. Like, I think with the Texas Chainsaw set, it was like lobby cards or something. Extra lobby cards. You know, but you had to order it directly from Second Sight to get the extra lobby cards. I wonder if they're going to do something like that with the Hitcher 4K. Got to have those extra lobby cards. What are you going to do without those? What's going on, Wrangler? Steve, what's going on, man? And Steve, on the last five, talked about Maxine, but I could tell he was being deliberately vague. And I kind of get it now after seeing the movie. It's like you don't want to take the wind out of somebody's sails. He knew that we were all going to go see it anyway. You know, I felt like that was kind of what it was. And now I kind of feel the opposite. I'd kind of like to take the wind out of your sails. I kind of like
probably going to do that.
Yeah, lower your bar a little bit if you are going to skip out when we start talking about Maxine. Just lower your bar. I hope you still like it. Corey, what's going on, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Hall & Oates, what's going on?
The man, the myth, the legend.
Russell, what's going on, man?
What's up, Russell?
Guy, what's going on? Caveman. Let's see. A lot of haze going around. Trini, I'm sure he's not going to the theater. Trini doesn't leave the house. Every time I ask him if he's going to see a movie in the theater, he's like, "Oh, I'm not leaving the fucking house for that." All right. Holland says, when the Maxine talk happens, I will mute for 30 minutes. Yeah, just come back when you see us holding a title up. That's not Maxine, even though I don't have a physical release. It'll probably be the first thing. Everybody's saying, hey, a lot of haze going around. I'm trying to get bottom here. Mrs. Caveman, what's going on?
What's going on?
Jane Doe, what's going on? The hell's Jeff? Almost through them here. Wild Wrangler Pops is our hero. Takes evil down. I don't know. He's on all the drugs tonight.
The loot just kicked down.
Yeah.
Them old lemons from like '82. He found a fucking whole ball of them bitches. Like, woo!
All the lemons.
Take another one.
Yeah. We'll take two more each.
That's all that makes me happy.
They start exercising. They think in their mind if they exercise, it'll make them their metabolism burn faster and the pills will work faster.
Yep. He's like, but of course, is the delayed fuse. Like, what? You took 8 of them before the bitches kicked. Woo!
Magic Hands, what's going on, man?
What's up, buddy?
Rob, what's going on?
Rob Romano.
Rob.
Wild Wrangler Pops Evil Scream Factory Blu-rays, right? Sure. I appreciate it. Yeah, subscribe to the backup channel because it's just a matter of time before this one gets deleted. I mean, Alan's always flying off the handle. Imagine we get reported for something. One of his fucking intros, copyright, who knows?
Yeah, I'm guilty of that shit. He's like, fuck Metallica. I'm using it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it. I mean, you guys think they'll do the big Dawn of the Dead style box set, or do you think it'll be just a regular 4K for the Hitcher 4K set?
I wouldn't probably say like they're not Dawn of the Dead style, like that big ass one.
The big.
I'd be surprised if they went for something that damn big. I'd be pretty surprised on. But
they did something like Drive. I mean, that movie is possible, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just thinking it's maybe just Drive and Dawn of the Dead has had that ultimate deluxe set, right?
Fuck, the Guest got one, didn't it?
Did it get one of those ultimate ones, or was it just like a?
Yes, got one. I think with a hard box and everything.
You're right, man. I didn't even think about that. Like that shit's over there on the shelf too. I'm like, damn, they did show the Guest a lot of love, man. So
it wouldn't surprise me.
And this is a big, very anticipated release. Who knows?
Watch them have like a figure with this shit and everything. You're just like, Jesus Christ, the price is going to be fucking through the roof.
I bet it'd be the same, 60 or whatever. I mean, we did get word Opera 4K set is 60. A lot less than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be 75, 80.
Yep.
From Severn. It's good a time as any. We're going to be doing something for the Severn sale coming up. Try to get some guys on and we'll go through it.
Kino shit in yesterday. They're like 9 titles from Kino.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. Steve, everybody fucking shows up 15 minutes into the movie, breaks the light out, the phone, they're talking. Yeah, they're arguing over where they should sit. It's a whole fucking thing. It's a disgrace. It's just like those motherfuckers don't use their turn signal. That turn signal is for everybody else, you retard. It's not for the cop. It's for everybody else to not hit your stupid ass. Jamie Hart, what's going on?
What's up, Jamie?
The haze going around. Steve saying brightness jack completely up. Absolutely. Sean, what's going on, man?
What's up, Sean?
Got too many Steves. Got too many Seans. Jamie Hart, so rude to mess with your phone. Or yeah. I mean, like I said, at least be stealthy about it. Don't just be, like this, full brightness, full volume, like an asshole. You have to check your stupid phone, especially the way shit costs. I went to that bullshit rat ass theater, and it was like, I don't know, it was like $9 for a matinee. I mean, just imagine, with the popcorn and all the other shit, probably $25, $30 just for one ticket. All right, we're almost to the bottom. They just keep coming in. So Brent saying he did watch Maxine, You're Next, Dire of the Dead, Spike and Mike's Hilarious Sick and Twisted Festival of Animation. That's a mouthful. Sounds like something.
Yeah, 97. Damn.
Hopefully we can find something that they enjoyed about Maxine. Yeah. Well, Jamie, if you came in a little later, we are going to spoil Maxine. It's going to be the first thing we talk about. So, I want to jump out until we get that over with. I would say that for the people that are going to jump out, like I said, go see it, have fun with it. Just bring your bar of expectations down a little bit. Yeah, that streak of you hearing good things may be about to end. Steve, that's all, Jamie. Yeah. I think it's pretty much everywhere. Jamie lives in a rural part of her state, so who knows? It might be Bible country up there. I remember I had a hard time finding Max X in the theater in the rural South where I was because of the subject matter. Yeah, well, I'm glad he liked it. It's all family friendly crap. Yeah, that sounds about right. Guy's asking if you picked up Bound, Alan.
No.
That's an Arrow Video release too.
Yeah, it's also a Jennifer Tilly movie.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So I
was just waiting for that shit too. I was like, "Yep, here we go."
No, that's not going to be on my list. I got about 5 titles in the car. When's that sell in?
The
29th.
Okay, I got no time there. So
27th or the 29th. I just can't remember. I think Prime Day is what, like 17th and 18th. 17th, 19th. I can't remember. Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Criterion's 29th. I was just waiting for somebody to talk about you like not pissing on somebody's gums if they were on fire or something to that effect.
Something in that neighborhood.
And speaking of Criterion, I know the Peeping Tom's been sold out on Barnes and Nobles. If you go to Amazon, they still have copies of it.
Yeah.
If you want Peeping Tom 4K, which a lot of people have been talking about it, it's still available on Amazon as of this morning.
Yeah, I heard from one of our guys in the chat that the Studio Canal release is the better release.
Okay.
With the better disc, better,
I haven't seen it, but everybody seems to be talking about it. But
it's like a proto slasher, if I remember correctly. Like he's disposing of bodies and things like that. I mean, it's not. It's more like if I remember correctly, tame, like a Hitchcock movie. But
now Barnes and Nobles, if you have like, for example, right now I got Risky Business sitting in my cart. Do they wait and ship everything when the pre-orders come out, or do they ship what's available? Do y'all know?
I couldn't tell you. I really wouldn't know.
I
would assume that company's so big that they're going to send out in multiple orders. That's what I would assume, it being such a big company. Which I don't know how they're even still around. I mean, a bookstore.
Yeah, especially directly from Barnes & Noble. I don't think I've ever had to get them busted up. I pretty much always got lucky, and they all had them at the same time.
Right.
But times are changing, man.
Trini, the last movie I saw in the theater was Deadpool 2, 2018. Well, that's a good pick. Just in time for the next Deadpool to come out. So I'm excited to see.
Yep. It's the end of this month, right?
Yeah, it's this month, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to be a scene ass that comes out.
Hagen saying Maxine kind of disappointed me, by the way. What's up, Hagen? I didn't hate it, but it definitely isn't my favorite of the three. I heard there's a fourth movie in development. Probably so, if it made a lot of money. It sounds like it. Yeah, it would have to be between Pearl and X. I mean, like I said, we're going to get Howard. Call it Howard. Call the next one Howard.
Absolutely.
That's probably the way to go. But we definitely don't need any more of Maxine Mink's story, in my opinion. But we'll get there. A lot of them just keep going.
Never mind. I'll wait till we start talking about it. But I got a thought. But
hold on to that. Yeah, 1875. Damn, it is getting nuts. Yeah, Wrangler, we're gonna spoil it, so you're running out of time.
Yeah, man, $19 for one movie theater ticket. Damn. Ouch.
Psycho 2 video is a classic. Yeah. Jamie Hart. They played both X and Pearl. No clue why they're skipping Maxine. I think it's the owner's beliefs that maybe an issue. Yeah, they probably didn't know what X was. And then, they're seeing that triple X now. And
the triple X. It probably just.
Yep. Mom went straight to the gutter, too. They were like, nope, not even risking it.
PB Tom was good for sure. Must watch. Barnes & Noble sends out. Whenever it's in stock, they don't hold it. That sounds about right. I bet they would just send it and send multiple packages.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. There's little they're talking about the what is it called? Memberships at movie theaters now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. This year, Maxine, very excited. We've all been excited about it since the post-credit scene for X with the Hollywood billboard sign. But as we've all talked about, the more and more we've heard about it, the more and more, at least for me, I was concerned about what it was going to be. Again, maybe it's my own fault, but I was thinking more like X2, her like basically it picks up 5 years. Is it 5 years, Johnny? Something like that. 5 years after. It's 1985. Yes, 1985.
79 to 85.
Yeah, so 6 years after the events of X, and obviously everyone else is dead. You only have Maxine, and she is at the end of her adult film career, but she's taking it extremely well, by the way. That's another thing I want to point about the movie. Her cocaine problem in X has continued all the way through this 6 year span. Not only is it's probably expanded because she's doing coke a lot in the movie.
Out of a duck.
She has a
ceramic
giant
duck
cookie jar that's a duck on her desk at work, and it's literally full of cocaine, and it has not phased her a bit. Like, so she's not had a problem. My hunches of her being fucked out and drugged out and all that stuff, and then going crazy and maybe channeling her past some way didn't happen at all. She's in charge. She's a badass. She's Charlie's Angel. You know, she's all but took karate for the last 6 years and whipping people's ass. She's stomping dudes' nuts out. Like she's Billy Badass now. So she's taken the world by storm. So there is that. But she's auditioning for a new slasher. It's a sequel. I believe it's called, what was it called? The Pilgrim 2?
Puritan 2.
The Puritan 2.
Yeah.
And, it goes against type. She gets it. She gets the role, and then she's harassed throughout the movie by Kevin Bacon, who's a private investigator hired by parts unknown. Nobody knows who the big person is with a lot of money that hired him to track her down and get her to come to a secluded mansion in the Hollywood Hills. He won't go. She keeps telling him to fuck off and beating his ass all over fucking town, by the way. A lot of people were kind of praising Kevin Bacon's performance in this. I didn't think it was a very good performance.
I actually heard one of the best things Kevin Bacon's ever done. I heard that.
Whoa.
I'm like, come on, bitch. I mean, come on, really?
Doing a fucking doing a Nolans fucking accent, dressed like Dick Tracy. Like, he's got like silver teeth in. I don't know. It's just a very strange performance on his part.
Bizarre for sure.
So let me go get my thought out here. I got a couple thoughts real fast. So I can jump in. Movie starts, and they start playing ZZ Top. Give Me All Your Lovin'. And I'm thinking about, oh shit, that's the tone. I was excited.
They're front loading,
getting ready for it. They play that music, and I'm thinking this is going to be badass.
Yeah.
And it literally does this. As soon as that song ends, and 30 minutes into it, I'm going, my God! I look over everybody, and
I swear to God, 30 minutes.
Wife is dozing off. That's like everybody's bored to death.
30 minutes in, I looked down at my watch and went,
"Yeah,
God damn, it's only been 30 minutes."
Yeah.
I felt like I was in the third act. I was like, Jesus Christ! It's like somebody pricked they didn't pop the balloon; they just pricked it right after ZZ Top plays, and the air just continues to go out of the movie as you get further and further into it. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Alan.
No, and the other thing is, I know that the Ty West wanted to get a different feel for each one of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Can appreciate it to an extent.
Yeah.
But the thing is, now I will admit, I don't want to totally shit on this movie until I see it a couple of times. Because the first time me and Ryan seen Pearl, we both walked away going, it was all right.
Yeah.
I watched Pearl now. We watched it again before we went and seen this. But I think it's my third or fourth watch. I love that movie now. I think it's great. Yeah. It's not your next. But I have a love for that movie I didn't have the first time I seen it. I don't think this movie is going to be the same way, but I'm going to wait till I see it 2 or 3 times before I totally shit on it.
Yeah.
I will say this, and this is the best thing I can give you as far as our thoughts on it. We all left there and went to dinner. Me and Ryan sat there across from each other and bullshitted for about an hour and a half at dinner. We didn't mention the movie one time.
Right after you left
we didn't say about it. We didn't have anything. We just talked about other bullshit. Usually we'll be bumping our fucking guns back and forth, giving our thoughts. And that's just the best way I can say there just wasn't much meat on the bone. Nothing really stood out to talk about. Other than it was just, we both said the same thing. It was all right. But we walked out of X going, fuck, that was great.
Yeah, man.
And just what that same
thing. Well, I mean, when I left the theater for X, I was texting people right away confirming that it was everything I thought it was going to be and then some. I would highly recommend going to see that. I told a couple of people right after I saw it, man, don't save your money, see it. But I wouldn't pay money to see it like at this. Because if you're going to end up buying, because a lot of people are going to buy it anyway to complete the trilogy. Wait till you pay the money to buy it and then just watch it that way.
But to finish my thought on that, he wanted to do every movie separate or a different style, which I said I can appreciate to a certain extent. But X worked. X is what we're all kind of starving for. A movie like that, a new movie, something kind of an homage to a lot of shit. You get a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, throwback, stuff like that. You get that same feeling. Just do that again. It works. If you want to make a Pearl, make it in a different franchise. If you want to make a movie like this, whatever, Maxine, make it in a different franchise. Give us 3 X's.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of feel. We would have ate all that shit up.
Yeah.
It worked. Why change it? I understand he wanted to do something different, be artsy and shit. But nothing worked as good as X did, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and
I feel pretty much the exact same way. Even what you said about Pearl, or Pearl grew on me, and I remember leaving Pearl going, man, it did have some good stuff in it. I did, but it was like the trailer was very misleading for Pearl.
It was.
This trailer was pretty much what we got. I felt like it was, pretty much all there. But Johnny, what did you think? I mean, what am I leaving out here before we get into spoilers?
You know what? Like, not to be like a cliche or anything, but I'm pretty sure the three of us are going to agree on this right here. This pretty much, Maxine is exactly why you don't let dynamite get wet. You light the fuse and shit just doesn't happen. Not like the biggest disappointment for me was when we first saw the trailer for Maxine. Of course, everybody saw it just like I did. We saw the Norman Bates Hotel in the back, and we're like, wait a fucking second. Like, how are they playing this into that? And last night I was completely let down. I was like, they had that. They recreated that fucking house and hotel, and they did nothing with it. Yep. She hid in the house for maybe 30 seconds, and then Kevin Bacon left, and it's
Kevin
over.
Bacon, who's feckless, who stands outside. That's about it.
Exactly. Security guard basically shoos him away up a lot, and then the scene's over, and it's like, fuck, man. But yeah, definitely. I was the first thing is I looked over at my wife, and I told her like straight up, I'm like, the pacing is not here. Like, they completely probably looked great on paper, but as they were filming it, that magic got lost along the way, and the pacing just went.
You got an 80s theme movie, a bunch of retards like us going to see it. Everybody's got a hard on for the 80s right now. And they could have done so much with that decade and the time they were doing this movie in that would have played to all the fans watching this type of movie. And I feel like they just missed the ball with so many opportunities, mainly the Psycho 2 house, like you mentioned.
Even the cinematography that we saw in the trailer, where we were like, okay, like that neo noir, like that neon kind of look to it. I thought we were going to get a lot of that, and I was watching it last night, and I'm like, wait a minute, like this is kind of like playing like what I would call bland grain, where I'm like, I mean, Zombie's even done this before, where he did the digital effect filter to make his movie look old, and I was like, Ty West went the same route, like what? But he, like you said, he wanted to make all three movies look different. Unfortunately for this one right here, weakest of the three, hands down. X being the holy grail for us, of course. Pearl, one of those things that kind of grows on you. This one, yeah, we'll probably see it a few more times, fellas, but I guarantee you we're all going to be pretty much a couple years from now, we're going to sit here and go, yeah, I'm going to stand behind. That's the weakest of the three if they don't make a fourth, or whatever.
Now, my wife watched all of these going in before we went and seen the new one. She watched the first two here a couple of days before, and she's the only person I know that watched Pearl first and then X. Just watching it with her, seeing Pearl, never seeing X. When X starts or whatever, it's kind of cool seeing Pearl first as the first time watch, and then going into X without seeing it, knowing what you know about Pearl, seeing her older, seeing Howard older. It was kind of a different experience, kind of watch it through her eyes. And her, probably because she's a woman, whatever, but Pearl's her favorite. She loved Pearl. She loved X. She said the same thing. This Maxine was just okay.
Yeah.
But, it was interesting to see her watching Pearl then X.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, next time you guys watch Pearl, and I pointed this out last night. I was got over in the theater, and I kind of like wanted to have something to bounce back off of because I was kind of like that momentum and pace didn't do it for me. So I just kind of put Pearl in the background as soon as we got back home from the theater. There's a scene, of course, where Pearl meets the projectionist outside. Of course, it's like, everybody's getting sick and all this shit. It's kind of like one of those little COVID tapbacks when me and Brad first saw it. Remember, we was making jokes about being like, God damn it, like, come on, here we go. But if you even look at that scene, there's like water runoff pipes and all kinds of shit that's displayed on the side of the buildings. Like, one pipe is yellow, one pipe is pink, one's green. And I was pointing out shit to my wife last night. I was like, they were so careful about the cinematography for this and made it look very unique and like one of a kind. But Maxine completely failed. What we get in Maxine? We got the Bates Motel for a couple minutes, and that fucking Hollywood sign kept popping up, and like we all seen that.
Like that's the coolest.
Do something great with it. Yeah, it's like fuck, do something cool with the letters for fuck's sakes. But
and during that time there was spray paint, there was graffiti on the Hollywood sign. They could have made it a little more. And we don't know what was going on behind the scenes too. Okay, Ty West is a working director. They may have said, "Listen, you're doing the next in the X franchise," and he may not even have wanted to do it. We don't know. We don't know yet. The story of time will tell, but it seemed like low effort for me. It's just like you were saying about Pearl. The effort was there. It was a quality production. They wanted to do it. This, I don't feel that labor of love mentality with this. I feel like this was a
Pump and dump,
grab, at best. Yeah, there's so much going on with it. I mean, obviously we are going to get into spoilers, but did anybody else get the vibes of this movie? Like, I felt like this was a heavy ripoff of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, even with the tie-in with the night slasher that goes nowhere.
The Night Stalker, yeah.
The Night Stalker. The Manson stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought it was almost, and it's a LA movie, all the, the old Hollywood, 80s Hollywood type of thing. But beyond that, it's like there's a lot of dialogue in this. And it's a lot of unnecessary dialogue that goes nowhere. Like they tried to set up a red herring at the beginning. At least I thought they were trying to set up a red herring with the director. She's like this big woman, and she wears this leather jacket, kind of like the killer wears. And I'm just like, how the fuck could that be a red herring? She needs her to make the goddamn movie. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then, like, every time that woman talks, she's handing out fucking, like, she's got a big monologue about life lessons and all this other shit. And then that character goes nowhere, right off a cliff. A lot of these characters go right off a fucking cliff, or they're just like killed off screen. A lot of off screen stuff too, which I thought was weird for this franchise. You don't get any off screen shit.
The major spoiler, everybody was sucking Kevin Bacon's dick over this role, and what happens to him? I don't know if you want me to say it or not, but what happens to him? It's like, okay, well, he's done, and
I don't even remember him.
I had the car compact.
Yeah.
The car compact scene was great. I mean, I just like the fact that they instead of like he lost his shit there at like the final moment of his life, and I love to see all the blood pull out of the car the way it did. Mm-hmm. But then the first thing I thought in my mind was, I really thought we was going to like see that fucking guy deliver, because we all know who Kevin Bacon is, what he's capable of, and it's like Ty West did not use him at his fucking full potential. You know what I mean, for this flick. So it's like, well, there he goes. Let's see where this is going to go.
Or something, smash him out the door or something. Let him have a death rattle. I don't know. And the car crusher only comes down to like the door line. He couldn't have just fucking been laid over there, and then like it doesn't like crush the car. It stops at the door line. You think he couldn't have just held down like this and not been? But no, he turns into soup.
Like, he didn't give up too easy too. He started like making his final prayers and shit like a little bit too soon before the fucking thing even started touching the car. He's like,
wait a goddamn dashboard to get out of that motherfucker. Right.
Well, that's another thing I want to talk about. Her being Charlie's angel. She whips his ass throughout the movie, by the way.
Push the car keys in the fucking between the knuckles. That shit right there. I was like, whoa.
She gets accosted by a mime. What the hell was that? In the alley or whatever? Was it a mime, or was it am I like, I don't know what it was. It was a guy.
I don't even know what his intention was to begin with, but whenever he was laying on the ground, his fucking nuts were laying on the asphalt. We all saw that part. So
she turns the tables on this mime that's accosting her, and makes him strip naked and suck her gun like it's like a dick.
Yep.
Okay. Again, she's badass. And then she lays him on the ground and stomps his nuts out on the concrete for no reason. That's the end of the scene. It's just like it's just reinforcement that she's a badass. And she continues. It's like, okay, she goes through X. Obviously, she has issues with X. She has all these flashbacks. She starts freaking out when they try to mold her face for the mask, but yet she's a badass. I mean, I'm like, you can't have it both ways. She's either got to be a basket case and meek and vulnerable, and you're supposed to care about her and not want her to get hurt, or you're like, oh yeah, she's gonna take them down. Like, is she in this? It's both, apparently. But she
not praying mantis right there. He's like, it wasn't a mime, just some dipshit dressed like Charlie Chaplin.
Whatever it was. But it's like, I don't know, like she that part where Kevin Bacon gets crushed in the car, her reveal is like she is the mafia boss of California. Like, she steps out, she's got her henchman over here that's got two Dobermans. She's got her fucking crime lawyer or whatever, the entertainment lawyer with her. Like, it's a crew, like the fucking Mod Squad. And she's got fierce makeup across her eyes. And I'm just like, this girl was like some fucking podunk hillbilly, didn't know shit, fucking for bologna sandwiches one movie ago. Now she's like this ultimate badass. She goes to the mansion with a pistol like she's like a police officer, like she's going to take down this murder syndicate by herself. She goes by her fucking self there. I don't know, like it had a lot of problems for me. To the killer, did anybody know what the killer was? And I'm not that guy that goes, oh, I knew the whole time. I knew the entire time who the fucking killer was based off of X.
Yeah, especially with the TV, with the beginning and the end. That shit though, man.
They would have been smarter to not include that in X and kind of show that as a back thought right before they revealed it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That'd have been a better reveal, I think.
And the way it was revealed too was, man, like I like you had said, Brad, like we got that whole clapback thing with the Night Stalker thing kind of running on. So we got this dilemma that's running on at the same time, scaring the fuck out of everybody in the city while the story of Maxine's unfolded. That doesn't even really pay off in the end, other than they show the old snippet that we've all seen where the Night Stalker gets his ass beat in the neighborhood, in the urban neighborhood, because everybody takes him down.
I was waiting for her to beat his ass. I thought
like the story exactly. Like their parallels never cross, like nowhere, and it was like, god damn, like there was so much potential, like something could have been, like even if you fantasized it, and it would have been something, but like that didn't really pay off for me, or even to reveal the whole thing of the setup was kind of like, ugh, man, like that execution was effortless. It felt like there was like you said, that was for all we know, that was a script that was forced to be written that didn't want to be wrote, for all we know.
And we're 2 years out from Pearl. That's still not a lot of time to write a script, a whole new concept, a whole new era, and then shoot it for a year. I mean, that's still not a whole lot of time to flush it out. And like I said, I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever seen or anything. I just didn't like it, and I was expecting more. Ty West is a pretty decorated director at this point. He's done a lot of good work. And I just think he could have done better. And we didn't. Did we need it now? Did it have to be? Did they have to put that, at the end, the after credit sequence? This could have been 5 years from now. She's still gonna look like she's in her early 30s 5 years from now. And wait till you have a real good idea. Do another prequel. I don't know, but we got what we got, and there was some good stuff in it. I mean, I struggled to come up with much.
They really needed her to walk around an overall side boob.
Yeah.
So we really need some more of that.
Odd, again, it's odd. She plays a stripper and a porn star. I don't think she's nude in it. Is there any nudity in the movie? I don't remember any of it being nudity.
No, the one that's going to stick out for this movie is just as soon as I saw it last night, I think it's still the favorite, and it's definitely enough. We got to hail the effect at least a little bit because it looked really fucking good. Was the double barrel shotgun scene. Like whenever she pulled both triggers on that shit, when we saw the aftermath of that fucking what was left of his skull, I was like, yeah. But
it's like even that scene, you take that's a good scene, good sequence. Right before that, Michelle Moynihan, who's by the way the lead detective on the case, who's a 100-pound woman, probably 40-year-old actor, 100 pounds. She is like the smart one throughout the movie. But again, Maxine is way smarter than her. This drugged out fucking junkie from back-ass Texas is way smarter than the police detective, but whatever. They are both at the murder house at the end together. Michelle Moynihan shoots the killer, who's Maxine's father, and comes around the corner and says, I got him. I knew I'd get him. And she's got a giant crucifix in her eye and just comedy falls down the fucking hill. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? What are we doing? What are we doing here? And then she goes to stand over the body. She's going to blow his head off. But she has to give a speech and then have a flashback sequence, or I guess it's a flash forward sequence of her life with the helicopter saying, drop the gun. And she's thinking about her premiere and all this other stuff. And then she just blows his brains out anyway. I don't know, man. I just thought it was spaghetti thrown at the wall. We could do this and we could do that. Too many characters also. Who are all these characters and what it's like I guess it's to create some red herrings. I don't understand the need of all these characters. All kinds gets murky at the middle. I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Farley character to be so ambitious as she was to make it. She's in Hollywood for 6 years, and we really open up that movie going, Well, she must have did something successful because she's got a fucking cookie jar full of Coke. So something happened good there. but in actuality, nothing really didn't pan out that great. So that's what 6 years is probably what, like 60 years for a lot of young chicks in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Especially if they're trying to get the fuck out of porn.
A 34-year-old porn star in Los Angeles, California. And it's like there's this big like recurring theme where everybody keeps mentioning how everybody wants to sleep with her all the time. Like even the gay black guy is just like, well, everybody wants to fuck you. And it's just like, in Hollywood? I mean, like she's the hottest thing walking around there. I mean, I don't know. It was just, I don't think they knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to make a Charlie's Angel movie. Did they want to make a Brian De Palma movie? Did they want to make a Giallo movie? I mean, it's just too much in the pot there. And then none of it comes out right. For me,
especially even the gay black friend there. Did you kind of notice, like, of course, where you're kind of going, well, wait a minute, like they're going for a kill here. Why the fuck did they cut him on the back of the neck? You know what I mean? It's like, what?
Yeah, a lot more effective on the other side.
Exactly right. Like, is it just me, or am I just going? I'm analyzing this way too fucking much.
It was just everything about it just felt off. And like I said, I don't get into movies most of the time and sit there and think, man, this feels like I've been here a long time. But I felt like I was there for fucking 3 hours watching that thing. And what is it, 90 minutes? I don't know what it is.
The first thing I said to my wife, she was like, hey, just give you a heads up. It's 104 minutes. And as soon as the credits was rolling, I was telling her, I was like, well, Brad said there's no fucking after credit scene. We can get up and bounce out of here. And she was like, what do you think? And I was like, that 104 minutes should have been more like 84 minutes. Yeah. Like that was 20 minutes of nothingness.
Yeah. If this makes money and, gets us some prequels or sequels to Pearl, I'm thrilled with that. I just didn't work for me. Some people liked it. I'm happy for them. I just
I'm ready for Ty West to do something else.
Yeah,
new blood in there.
Let's move on. If we're not going to get Howard, let's move the fuck on. So yeah. What's the next big thing? But like I said, we talked about this last stream, though. Of course, man, like he's got some praise to him now. He's got to make that safe film, so we might have to give this guy a little bit of patience and be like, all right, go make your safe film. Go impress those fucking Jew lawyers that you got now, because we all know that he's probably got a few in his pocket now that he worked really hard to carry around in his fucking pocket like pocket change. But
yeah,
who knows, man?
Maybe this was it. Maybe this was the safe movie. Maybe this was the one we're gonna make it for 10 million. It's gonna make 100 million. Regardless, because you've got an established fan base that are going to see it opening weekend. We'll ring this out one last time, and we'll go from there. But
they definitely rolled out the red carpet for him, though. He's got to do his world premiere of it at the Chinese Theater, which was, I'm sure that was a big thing for him. Yeah. That's not his first venture there. It's probably not going to be his last. But I mean, like when I was telling you guys, when I was kind of like watching a little bit of what they were kind of throwing out to the fans of what the worldwide premiere was, I was like, all right, like a lot of people, like they were coming out of that fucking theater and they looked pretty happy about it. And it's like, well, if they were on a popcorn high, or they were just there because they were amongst celebrities kind of thing. So you can never kind of decipher what's going on there. So, and
it's a Hollywood movie at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood people, there's a lot of that, fanfare for fanfare's sake. I don't know. I'm just, I'm looking forward to the other stuff. I'm looking forward to Long Legs and Trap and fucking some of the others coming out, Deadpool 3 and whatnot. But
anything else coming out at some point?
Alien Romulus looks really good. But anything you guys got to add, Alan? Do you have anything else to add to Maxine?
Like I said, I was hoping for a lot more, just like you guys. I was a little let down. Somebody says here in the chat a minute, are we going to buy the physical media? I will.
Of course.
Like I got the other two. I'm going to grab it. I definitely want to see it again. I feel like on more watches, now that I know what I'm getting into, I might enjoy it more on a second watch. I'm fully expecting to, but it's always going to probably remain my number 3 in the series. Yeah. I'm an ex-Pearl Maxine kind of guy. So,
what would you guys rate it?
So, I think I gave it a
3 out
of 5. I think.
Whoa, 2, yeah. Damn. All right.
Yeah. I think I gave it 2 out of 5. Like I said, that might change on a second watch. But right now it's a 2 out of 5.
I think Chris C was asking me what I thought of it. I said I loved X. I liked Pearl. I didn't like Maxine. So yeah, I'm probably in that 2 range. X I gave 4 stars. I'd say Pearl's probably 3.5. Right.
I gave it a 2. But and like I said, I'm really hopeful that I like it more on a second watch. I really want to. I'm a big fan of the series, whatever this trilogy, or the first two anyway. And like I said, Pearl went up probably from a. I don't remember what I first rated Pearl, but on the last watch, I want to say I gave Pearl maybe a 4.
Yeah,
out of 5.
I should appreciate Pearl a little bit more now because it's like, all right, man, like fuck, all right,
Pearl
this was
a lot better now.
Got some fucking great shots of it, man. That last fucking speech she gives when the blind chick's her sister-in-law's in front of her, and she's talking.
9 minutes,
and you're wondering that blind chick's got to be. What's her face going to look like? All the shit she's dropping on her. You know, when it finally cuts the blind girl's face, man, that's just a great scene.
The Internal Revenue Service can send me an unexpected bill in the mail, and if her fucking scarecrow is on in the background, like I'll take that hit a little less lightly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're talking. It's a 9-minute unbroken monologue. You know, it's a really talented actress, and she does a really good job. I don't need any more Maxine stories, and I hope that that's not like if there is another thing in the production. I hope Maxine's story is over, and we go back to Pearl and some prequels to X. Because I mean, what more? What was she going to do? Take down the Yakuza in Japan?
Oh Jesus, man!
I mean, what is it going to be?
No,
kicking a lot of ass.
At this point, after all three of us seeing Maxine, I think we could probably do a whole nother stream now on Pearl, and we'd just be, I mean, oh Jesus Christ, we'd just be throwing so much good things at it, being like, oh, you know. Every time you see the hog that's sitting on the porch in the pan that the woman cooked for, the maggots that's crawling over, it's basically like a metaphor for her brain at the time that's just slowly deteriorating, just like the maggots are eating the flesh. And we'd probably go down that rabbit hole really quick now, being like, yeah, Pearl's a fucking shit compared to Maxine.
My big issue with Pearl, and still is the mask stuff. It takes place during the Spanish flu for one reason and one reason only, so that they can put that mask shit in there and, you know, make it timely of the whatever reason they put it in there, they put it in there. And the only thing I can say is whether you hated it, the masking policy, or you thought that people didn't take it seriously enough and people died, or whatever side of the fence you were on with that whole thing, nobody wants to be reminded of the 2 years we lost to COVID. Nobody wants to think about that. We all want to move on. That movie takes you right back to that bullshit fucking time. That was a waste of time for everybody, as it turns out. But still, if you were afraid of it, if you thought it was annoying, nobody wants to think about it anymore. And that movie, it's in there for all time for us now. Every time it comes up, we have to fucking revisit that time in one way or another. And that's what annoyed me about it. Other than that, I don't have much to complain about other than that the masking bullshit that I didn't feel like we needed. But it's a remote, rural town anyway. Nobody's out, no matter what.
The scene of her taking that fucking full-fledged bath right in front of her handicapped father while she's like showing him the bird's nest. I was like, is this really fucking necessary?
Speaking of the father, I've never seen somebody do such a great fucking performance and not say a fucking word.
Yeah,
his facial
word.
He's doing this.
When the bomb caught on fire, his lips on his face is pure fucking terror. That's all you need to say without not saying a word.
Him and Nicolas Cage for Willy's Wonderland, they were like competing with that shit, dude. In the background, they were like, fuck that, I got it.
And the edge of the wheelchair on the fucking dock with the alligator coming up and his dad's face going, I mean, you just felt this motherfucker's terror.
Oh, when his wife is getting killed by Pearl right in front of him. She's, she catches her on fire and throws the fucking scalding ass corn water on her.
Yeah.
It's like corn cobs and potatoes and shit rolling around the floor.
The scene where Johnny was talking about, where she's taking a bath right in front of her dad, and the angle of his head to her in the bath, where he's just like this, like a vegetable, can't even lift his head.
And she's lifting her fucking legs up and shit.
It's just
like, oh,
didn't want to waste the bathwater. Still, Mom.
Damn.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, Pearl I would recommend. X I would definitely recommend, but I can't recommend Maxine to anybody, especially at these prices. Going out and spend, if you got your girl with you, you're going to spend $60. Just wait till you buy the fucking Blu-ray. And I don't know what I'm going to do if I'm going to pick it up. If I did, it would be heavily discounted down the line. I don't really have any interest in seeing it again. I'd like to see it again, just to kind of either verify or hopefully improve my opinion of it. But
you two can back me up on this, though. But we both know, like, we're definitely going to chase that physical media disc because we're hoping that there's special features that all three of us are going to watch that's going to make us appreciate a little bit more. Maybe we missed something. Or we were kind of like, oh, that was the angle.
And I feel we'll get a pretty nice box set with all three of them.
Yeah.
Once we determine that this is over with.
Maybe there's a new cut too. Maybe there's a director's cut. I mean,
maybe that'd be interesting to see if there was.
Yeah.
Well, we saw the fucking nuts get smashed with fucking heels up against the concrete. I mean, Jesus Christ, what could they have edited from that shit? Like, I saw that dude's dick fucking cells run out of his shit, man.
Yeah, well, maybe they could edit that out. Maybe they could edit that out. Maybe it would improve it. All right, that's number 5. Let's catch up with the chat here. All right. Caveman says Peeping Tom apparently makes an appearance. Scream 4. Is that what they're on? What, they must be watching it on TV. I don't remember that. Hagen, I thought the mystery person was obvious as well. I really don't get why they included the rich, because I think he fucking was watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He really loved it. It had come out, 2019, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that was still fresh on his mind. Maybe he ripped it off without even knowing, like subconsciously.
But Tarantino actually, tied that into a story and made it a great execution at the end. And Ty West was just like, I'll just show a clip of them catching Richard Ramirez, at the end. And their paths never crossed.
And I'll clip it, and somebody will just be watching it on TV. It just, I don't know, it just didn't fucking work for me. That's
a lot of possibilities that were just left high and dry.
Yeah, let her be the one that fucking stomps him or something. I don't know. Boom, involve her some way. Steve, it definitely lags. Yeah, it crawls, man. There's a lot of dialogue, and I don't know.
And Steve, I do appreciate you being kind of, very, not very forthcoming with your thoughts. Just giving us a fair shake to go look at it with blind eyes, kind of, sort of. Because he could have really shit on this movie. When
there you go.
The other day.
Yeah. I mean, even still, it's like Alan said, we've only seen it once. Maybe it will improve with time. I don't know. But we'll see. Fast forward will help this motherfucker a lot. Probably. If you can skip ahead and even some of the stuff, like when she's getting that mold put on, I'm like, well, that was a good idea. To have that, her freaking out in there a little bit. There was some good inside with all the horror masks and heads and things in there. But it's like, would she really be scared? Because she's just badass. She's just gonna stomp everybody's fucking dick off anyway. So what does it matter? Like, it's like the character. You can't be Billy Badass and the damsel in distress at the same time.
Yep.
It's got to be. You can't be Pam Grier and Jennifer Love Huge Tits from. I know you did last summer at the same time. You've either got to be a badass or, the damsel.
Now that's a fucking name right there for an actress, Brad.
Yeah. Scully, the
body's all fucked up. I'm a pretty tan guy. I feel like I've been dead 3 days. I can't get this fucking light.
What happens when you don't leave your house?
I promise I do go out in the fucking sun occasionally. Light's all fucked up, and I don't know what it is. It's time for a new camera.
Bates Motel's on Universal lot, Universal Studios Hollywood. I doubt they recreated the building and just used. They probably did. Yeah.
That was a green screen, and they fucking actually did resurrect that shit. They did a really good job of it, that's for sure. Because as soon as that camera pans down and we saw the first 2 hotels at the very end with the post, I was like, fuck, here we go.
Man, Steve says it was a shot on the lot.
But I thought the whole thing is that Universal had signed off to fucking tear that thing down like in 2017, I think it was, when they finally fucking laid that bitch to rest.
Yeah.
We just want to look back now and see the history of that, see if they actually tore it down or not.
Yep. Steve saying the director annoyed the piss out of me after the 3rd speech about how lucky Maxine was. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a ton of needless dialogue where she has to go around and talk to everybody about her success and how hard she worked and, nothing going to break in my stride, nothing going to hold me down. Like, kind of shit.
I was about to say, like, neither of the 3 of us has pointed out the fact that she used the same saying at least 8 times in this fucking movie, which was, I'm not going to live a life.
Yeah.
You do the whole fucking thing,
looking
whatever.
in the mirror, stopping and doing all that shit. I don't know. It just was like, oh, you remember that? She did that next. It's the same character.
She did it 8 fucking times. She even said it to her own father before she kills him. And it's like, okay, Jesus.
You got all the girls lining up for the audition with a big old billboard behind them that says, "Do you have the X Factor?"
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, really.
There's scenes where she's like borderline annoying too. I mean, I know she's just some fucking hick from Ponoc Nowhere, Texas, but like she comes out of her screen test or whatever, and she just goes, "Oh, you bitches are wasting your fucking time. Get the fuck out of here. I just got that shit," or whatever. It's just like, okay, all right, lady, that's enough. And it's like, I don't know, is that porno thing, the crossover, did that really happen a lot? They keep mentioning one actor that was a porn actor that went into movies. It's just like, and like, was that I mean, I don't think that was a real prevalent thing. I don't think it's ever been. Would that really even happen?
One of the most famous one was what, Rabid? That chick from Rabid? Not Marilyn Burns, that's Texas Chainsaw. Who am I thinking of? What was her name from Rabid? Cronenberg. She did porn before she ever did Rabid, and then she actually got like a few more roles in Hollywood. But it was more condoned that if you already did porn first before hitting the silver screen, they looked down on it. They wouldn't put you on the silver screen.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like, she's a 34-year-old.
Tracy Lords pulled it off. Fucking non-praying man. He knows his shit too, man. Fuck yeah, she was one. That's for sure.
Well, we know Hollywood. 30's the kiss of death for females in Hollywood. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
She's 34, an ex-porn star, and she gets the lead in this movie. I don't know. There's just a lot of eye roll moments for me.
Helen Hunt would agree.
Yeah.
She was brutally honest about it, though, whenever she was sitting there with the casting director, and she was like, look, she was like, here it is. She was like, I'm at the end of my rope. She was like, porn does not do anybody my age favors.
Yeah.
It's time to make this happen. So she was brutally honest with her character, and that's all great and everything. It's just her fucking character had way too much dialogue and not enough action.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, maybe we'll watch it again and think different. I don't know. And we were all like really excited to see this. So maybe our expectations were too high. Who knows? Maybe you'll love it. Just be warned. Hagen saying, yeah, Maxine felt forced to sell. I've got the same thoughts as you guys. Are you going to pick? Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I might. I picked up the fucking whale for $5. I think that's probably what I'd spend on this. An old Blu-ray. I don't really need a 4K of this, but what it might do is bring us new releases of Pearl and X on 4K, which I'd like to have US releases of. So, and like Alan said, maybe it'll be a box set. We'll see. But it's like,
let's just cross your fingers for great special features. Like, I just don't want to just see two different commentary tracks with fucking Mia Goth and Ty West. Like, I want to see behind the scenes of them making the fucking thing, them sitting in a chair discussing, hey, this is why we felt prevalent to do this scene.
Neither of the other two have good bonus features. They're minimal bonus. They have bonus features, but they're minimal on both releases. So,
and fucking Ty West is still counting the goddamn porn that he made in X as a short film, which is a bonus feature on X. When you're going through his filmography, it's right there, and it's like, okay, that's not a real fucking movie, dude. That was like a movie within a movie. Like, come on here.
Yeah, Steve saying the Night Stalker was there for absolutely nothing. Yeah, it didn't add anything to the story. Like I said, I think it may have just been he saw Tarantino's success and went, yeah, I can do that too.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you liked it enough to justify it. There were a handful of things that I did like. It's not as many as I thought. I struggled.
It's very fair. Very fair right there.
The scene with I keep bringing it up. The scene where they're making a mold of her head. I thought that was an interesting scene, but there's not much. Steve saying, I think there's one scene of nudity, the porn set scene before. I guess so. Yeah. I don't know. Goose Cola. Hagen, yeah, I don't blame you. The music was, you had to do that. You had to deliver. It's 80s.
Yeah, I was Alan kicked that off too, man. Because of course, man, soundtrack's always a big thing especially when you're using a familiar band, especially like ZZ Top. Out of all fucking people, you hear that song, and then immediately she opens up a duck. There's like a fucking whole kilo of coke sitting in there, and she just fucking taking hit after hit of it. And I was sitting there going, okay, we're gonna go off the fucking rails here. Let's get crazy. And then it's like, like just the fucking power plant just like ran out of fucking nuclear energy, and it's like,
yeah, they're playing ZZ Top. My assets are putting straight out. I'm ready to go. And it's like, God damn, it went nowhere.
I was there with you, man. I was sitting right there last night doing the same thing. I'm like, fuck yeah, man. What a great song to start this bitch off with.
The theory that I have for those Halloween movies, the David Gordon Green movies. Let's front load something awesome. Let's get you to talk to your friends and say, hey, man, this is pretty good. I'm excited about this. Get a little buzz going there. But, I mean, again, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about drugs, but the thing about cocaine, from what I understand, the more you have, the more you want to do. She has been doing cocaine for fucking 10 years straight, and she has got it dialed, man. She has no problem functioning in society whatsoever. Like there's no addiction. It doesn't feel like she's addicted. She just turns down anytime she wants. I don't even need this shit.
You brought up the David Gordon Green Halloween movies, and I want to say the dad from the Halloween movies, I got peanut butter on my penis. Wasn't he in Maxine last night? Because I think I saw his character. Or was he in one of the trailers right before?
No, he's in Maxine. He's the coroner.
Okay. Because as soon as I saw him, I was like, there's that fucking weird-ass line he said in fucking Halloween. It's the first thing that came to my mind.
I did take away one thing from it. She opens a newspaper up, and a newspaper is opened at some point, and it's talking about the events of X, and they call it the Texas Porn Star Massacre.
Yeah.
That's what X should have been called. The Texas Porn Star Massacre, or X, the Texas Porn Star Massacre.
No theater would have played that shit though, man.
Yeah.
Like you even said, like most of these theaters right now, they're like, hey, well, it's not even playing near me. Well, it's got fucking XXX, and the first thing their brain goes to is, this is going to be borderline porn. So it's called it that shit. And we'd have been right back in 1970s with the fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre people being like, we're not playing a movie with that title. Yeah. It's not going to sell shit.
Steve saying Maxine lasted a whole minute after making it to the mansion before she's like immediately bagged and like grabbed. That's true. Yeah, Steve or Hagen's talking about the practical effect of the head getting exploded. Side characters were so unnecessary. The one kill I liked, the VH store, the gay black guy that gets it. What are the kills? There's off-screen stuff. It's a lot of off-screen stuff. You got Kevin Bacon, which is a good one. You got the gay black video store clerk, and you got her dad. I think that's the only ones on screen. The rest are off-screen kills. Michelle Monaghan gets a crucifix in the eye and falls down a hill. Not a lot there. I don't think there's one off-screen kill in X. That's all on screen.
No one cares if it bleeds beyond the screen.
Yeah. The video rental scene was decent. Yeah, definitely Jowling on. Steve saying, I'm sure Wes is ready to do something different. Yeah, he probably didn't. I don't think he wanted to do this. That's my thought on it. It's like, we'll just get this out. If we make anything, great, but I want to move on. Yeah, Alien Romulus said it'll be good. I think it'll be good. Steve, I'm an artsy bitch, so I did really like the shots, the color scheme, and the music. I enjoyed a handful of performances. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Steve said the third act was trash. Pretty much checked out when the antagonist is unmasked. Yeah, again, I'm not that guy. Like, I didn't know. I knew the whole time. No, I did. I normally don't know, but I knew that was the benefactor from the beginning. And I talked about it on previous streams, like it was common knowledge that it was her father paying a private detective to track her down. You hear about that all the time. Girl runs away. The Big Lebowski, a million other movies where the family from back east hires the private detective.
Makes me think of George C. Scott in Hardcore. Remember that one?
Yeah, Hardcore. Daddy.
I love that fucking movie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Daddy hires the private detective, and he's even from the South. He's even from Louisiana. Kind of got to be where she's from down there, the Bible area. So it just made sense that it was her father.
You haven't lived, so you see George C. Scott dressed up like a 70s pimp. With that big old goddamn honker he's got, and it was pretty funny.
What do you think's a pimp would wear with the mustache and everything?
And butterfly collar, and he was pimped out. Yeah, send me a dick.
Guys saying House of Dragon has basically made a porno this weekend. Not sure they're getting. I'm not familiar with House of Dragon.
I've watched season 1, which I want to go back and rewatch. But my son, that's like his favorite show right now. I'm gonna watch this season, but I'm gonna wait till it finishes. And probably because I'm still trying to finish the goddamn Walking Dead. Goddamn.
This is an odyssey. Steve, what's going on, man?
What's up, Steve?
Steve. Yeah, Steve's saying that the Night Stalker aspect didn't even add even suspense, because from the beginning they're like, this is a killer that's trying to make it look like the Night Stalker is doing it, but it's not. They know from the beginning it's not the Night Stalker. So I don't know. Steve saying, of course, I knew how much everybody was looking forward to it, including me. So I just didn't want to come out and say, yeah, we kind of figured it out. I remember watching when I was there talking to you about it on the stream. I was like, yeah, well, I kind of get what you're doing here, because he didn't even like go into detail about it. He's like, yeah, this happens, and anyway.
I feel like on the other side of that coin, if it would have blew him away, you would have seen the excitement in his face.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't see any of that. That worried me a little bit.
It's past opening weekend. The reason I'm like, well, let's just spoil it, because I don't think it's going to have legs past opening weekend. The people that were going to go see it went already. And I'm not, I don't want to spoil it for you, but, at the same time.
There's already videos out there explaining the ending and all this other shit. There's already spoiler videos.
I don't think you can spoil it, because I think anybody picked up that was the killer. That's my expectation of it. Anybody that's a fan of X should follow the bouncing ball and go, oh, the killer is her religious zealot father and his cult of retards that do whatever he says.
I will say this: the missus definitely picked up on a few Easter eggs last night, especially if you caught the scene where Maxine's walking on Hollywood Boulevard and she actually spits on the celebrity's name who's in the square. If you go back and you watch that scene, then you go back and you watch Pearl, it's like, whoa, like, holy shit, they made a connection there. But yeah, I didn't forgot the name, what she had actually mentioned of it, but she was 100% right on that shit, though. So I'm sure as when we finally do get this on physical media and we go back and we watch it, we'll probably do that whole thing where we sit down, we watch 1, 2, 3, just all in that order, and be like, oh shit, like I missed that the first time around. So there was a few Easter eggs, and somehow Zuli was just like right on it, and I was like, fuck, I didn't even realize that.
I wouldn't put that together. That's for sure. All right. People are saying Tracy Lords in the chat. Steve definitely would have known who it was if I had rewatched X before going in. Yeah. I mean, these theories, well, at least bandied about by me. I'm sure other people thought the same thing. Maxine, and then we see the first trailer and there's a private detective. It just makes sense. Who else would want to how hard could she be to find? Porn star. She's on film everywhere. They're done in Los Angeles. I don't know. Episode 4, season 2. I think they finally hooked the House of Dragon. Yeah, I'm not. It's Lord of the Rings or whatever. What is it? Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
It's a prequel to Game of Thrones. Long time before.
Steve's saying I've seen mostly lukewarm reviews, so I think most everybody that is planning to see it is already. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, this is one of those ones. I'm looking forward to getting into. I don't even know what House of the Dragon. Yeah.
A
lot of hype around that right now too, man. So,
I think it's a show. I think it's a show. And people are like, it doesn't take much to get people onto the new show, whatever that show is. All right, well, we're on to number 4, an hour and 13 minutes in.
About what I figured. All right, I'm going first. All right. Like I said, I want to apologize ahead of time. Like I said, I got some pretty shitty movies here. I got 1 great one and 3 not so great. This first one here is one that I've had on my shelf for a long time. And if memory serves, this is one that was out of print when I had to go chase this one down. And that is going to be Supernova with James Spader and Angela Bassett.
How could that be bad?
Oh, it is. Also directed by Walter Hill, kind of. It was also kind of directed by, make sure I get this right, Francis Ford Coppola did a rewrite on it.
Ah.
It also, and both of them said, fuck you to this movie, basically. And at the very end of the movie, it also has another director's name, Jack Schotter. I'm probably saying his name wrong. But at the end of the movie, it says directed by Thomas Lee. Well, I looked that up, or who the fuck is Thomas Lee? I already took my notes as I'm watching the movie. Thomas Lee is kind of like an Alan Smithy, or whatever you call Alan Smithy, whatever. It's a name they put out there when a director disowns the movie. So basically, this movie was originally done by Walter Hill. He said, fuck you halfway through it. All the actors were saying that basically every single day they had no idea what shot they were going to shoot. They were given a TPA, to be announced. The day they got to the set, they read the script, had to go do the scene. And that basically Walter Hill had a vision of this being kind of a low budget, gritty, outer space movie, whatever, kind of something we probably wanted for something like this. But instead of being a $5 million movie, it turned into a $20 million movie. And they had too many fucking chefs in the fucking kitchen. And it just turned out to be a fucking mess. And the funniest thing about this, I took quite a few notes about this. The funniest thing about this, if you have this or if you ever get this is the Scream Factory release, obviously. You watch the movie, because I didn't watch the trailer, because they have the trailer, not many special features. There is a really good documentary talking about this movie where everybody shits on it. Everybody that was involved kind of shits on it. I mean, this has got a good cast. Lou Diamond Phillips is in this also. Lou Diamond Phillips is great in it. I mean, I'll get to that in just a minute. You watch the movie, and you're thinking, okay, this is a pretty dry movie. It's a sci-fi movie. You can tell there's some special effects. This is early 2000s. This is 2000 actually came out. It's got good special effects for that time. Pretty, it's manageable, not bad. But the movie is very dry. You have a ton of good actors in here doing a fucking great job acting, but they just don't have anything to say. It's just kind of dry. But everybody's doing a good job of what they got to work with. If that makes any sense. You got James Spader, Angela Bassett, Robert Forster's in this for about 3.5 minutes. And whenever I seen he was in the cast, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, and he's gone. So it happens pretty quick. Lou Diamond Phillips is in this. The guy Peter Facinelli, whatever, he was the guy in the Twilight series and the asshole and Can't Hardly Wait. He plays the bad guy in this. And Robin Tunney, which I recognize that name, but she was in The Craft and Empire Records is what she was in. Like, you got a solid cast. But the thing about it is, this movie, you can tell, was a total clusterfuck from day one. None of the directors wanted to do it. Everybody was changing the script around at the last minute. The actors had no fucking idea what they were doing. And this is what I was trying to say a minute ago. You watch the movie, it has a certain tone of like, okay, this is a pretty dry sci-fi movie, pretty forgettable. You've seen it done a million times. You have a deep space crew that gets a signal. They got a hyper jump, whatever, to this fucking place they shouldn't go to check out the signal. They find some shit they shouldn't find. Kind of feels kind of like an Aliens theme, right? Or Alien theme. And that's kind of what you can tell it's very inspired by that. But it's not done very well. But you watch the movie and you get this, it's like a dry sci-fi movie, not much to it. Go watch the trailer. The trailer, they're playing fucking Sugar Ray, what's the Sugar Ray song? Fly or whatever. Yeah. It's very upbeat music. It looks like it's almost a fucking action comedy. After you watch it, it's worth watching the movie. Don't watch the trailer until you watch the movie. Because when you go and watch that trailer, which I did, it's on here immediately after seeing the movie. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I think I wrote some shit down about it. Yeah, the trailer is way misleading. Plays up music like Sugar Ray, makes it look like a real sci-fi action comedy or lighthearted. The movie is not that at all. There's very little comedy in this at all, and the trailer makes it look like it's almost like it's completely opposite of what it really is. The most misleading trailer I ever seen. Oh, that was pretty funny. I already said all the shit about Walter Hill. They filmed 4 different endings of the movie. They only have one of the endings on the disc here you can watch. The alternate ending, it ain't much to it. Angela Bassett turned down Monsters Ball in order to make this film. I think we had Halle Berry in Monsters Ball, right? But original is going to be Angela Bassett. Turn that down. I think that's all I really wanted to say about it. Whatever. The cast all pretty much said the same thing. The only person that came back, you did get Robert Forster come back and talk about it. Lou Diamond Phillips came back and talked about it. And I say came back. These special features were done, probably 2012 when this was released, 2013. But yeah, like I said, it's not much to it. You've seen this done many, many times better. And James Spader also said, this is the one movie in my filmography I hope nobody ever sees. There's a lot of shit like that. But like I said, I'm a fan of pretty much everybody in the cast. And it was a dud. But this is one of those movies where don't get it for the movie, get it for the special features. I want to say it's a 25-minute documentary, then just shitting on the movie, giving a bunch of backstory. And it makes you kind of appreciate how they can really fuck something up that could be good.
It's like Spooky.
This would have been a $5 million budget.
Yeah.
And it could have been one of those gritty, grimy outer space. It could have been a lot better, but they just totally fucked
like Pandorum. It could have been something, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, it just didn't work. But it's being sold.
Well, my number 4, it's 2013 or 2015's In the Heart of the Sea. Now, this is not Moby Dick. It's the story that inspired Pollard to go out, and then that story is Moby Dick. So it's the precursor to Moby Dick. I don't know if this is in the book. I never read the fucking book. Surprise, I can't read. But you got a Ron Howard Productions, Ron Howard film. I think his least seen movie from 2015. You got Cillian Murphy, you got Chris Hemsworth, and what it is obviously it's probably the best. It's definitely the best whaling movie ever, and there's real whaling in it. Like obviously they're not really whaling, but it's like they actually go out and kill whales, and then they have to harvest the oil and go inside them and stuff. It's actually pretty interesting, but it's basically they encounter the whale, and it becomes an adventure odyssey. Basically, I don't really want to go too much into it because I feel like nobody's seen this, but I really enjoyed it. First class production. It's a good pairing with a Master and Commander. If you like Master and Commander with Russell Crowe, this is a good right alongside that. They're sailing out after these whales, and the way they used to fucking catch these whales was fucking crazy. They'd go in these small boats, throw fucking harpoons in them with the harpoons tied to the boats that they're in. They're small little boats, and then they would just ride behind the whale until it got tired. And sometimes the whale would be so big it would just rip the fucking boat apart, and you would just die. I mean, that's just how it went back then, and that happens in this, obviously. But yeah, it's pretty brutal and it's pretty dark, honestly. Even though it is PG-13, there's no language. Obviously, these are Nantucket, they're like fancy boys, so they're not they're gentlemen. They're not cursing at each other, but there's everything from people getting murdered by a whale to mutiny and cannibalism and all sorts of wild shit in it. But I think this is $4.95 on Hamilton Book right now. There is a 4K. Blu-ray's plenty fine. Obviously, all the whales are CG, but it's done in darkness underwater. It looks pretty damn good to me. But man, for Ron Howard, he's not gonna do some bullshit. And I don't know why people haven't seen this, but it's a pretty damn good movie. And it becomes more like an action movie. I don't know what to really classify it as. It's definitely adventure, action. There's a lot going on, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm just surprised more people haven't seen it. But I think that movie that you loved, Alan, All Is Lost.
Well, fucking Robert Redford.
With Robert Redford. No. That dry ass movie, the exact opposite right here. It's Ron Howard. I mean, like I said, I don't think he would do something shitty in it. Brendan Gleeson's in this. It's got great performances all around. Even though, like I said, Hemsworth, if he was drowning, I'd throw him to center block. I'd like to see somebody better in that role, but he's the lead in it, and he does a good job even still. But yeah, In the Heart of the Sea, I'd recommend people checking that out. I'd say, I don't know, 3 out of 5 for that one.
Oh yeah. All right, I'll give everybody a heads up. For the majority of my stack, since we all know the Severance sale is coming up, usually around these times I start digging through all my Severance titles, rewatches, and shit I've never seen before, and just go crazy. So, other than maybe one in the stack here, since Alan brought up, oh Jesus Christ, James Spader, I actually have one to connect there with that since he brought that up. This one right here, I'm sure we're going to do that Severin video, like you said. Yeah. We'll definitely do something for the sale. But yeah, definitely these ones I got right here for the most part are definitely recommendations. So it kind of serves as 2 purposes. 101 Films put this out, but before they did it, Severin put it out. And I will definitely say this is probably one of Severin's films where it's like a really good, like top-notch fucking actual film. And that is none other than The Boys Next Door. I know everybody knows this movie because this is Charlie Sheen in 1984 before he got really big, and Emilio Estevez's brother was already went through the fucking roof with all the movies he had already done, St. Elmo's Fire and all this other shit. But if you've never seen this movie, definitely check it out. It's from 1984. This is directed, I'm going to butcher her name, but her name's like Penelope, Jesus Christ. Penelope Spires. She is known for being the director of the Decline of Western Civilization trilogy, which I was a huge fan of. The metal, the punk, the whole 9 yards. She did a really good job with this movie with a very minimal shoestring budget. But in this movie, just to break it down really quick, got some really good violence in it. It's basically 2 high school kids. Charlie Sheen's character is a little bit more down to earth, feet on the ground kind of guy. does like anarchy and rebellion. However, he does have a friend that's just a little bit too loose. They pretty much graduate high school on Friday, and they pretty much know that their future lies next door at a factory where it starts when Monday comes up. That's the first day of the rest of their life. They know they're stuck there in this little town on the outskirt of California, somewhere in the fucking boondocks. Life is pretty much over for them at that point. They know there's really no future ahead of them. So what they decide to do is they steal a dog after they go to a party, completely just fucking ambush this party and just make asses of themselves and cause a big scene. They steal the fucking, the guy who's running the party, they steal their dog, jump in a car with it, and they're like, fuck it, let's go to Los Angeles. And as soon as they get to Los Angeles, the first thing they do is they pull over at a gas station, and there's a pretty big like a very racist scene in this movie that kind of grabbed my attention. Because, of course, I watched that shit, and it's just fucking hilarious to me because they were just the slurs they were using it, especially in fucking 84.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, as soon as the movie starts up, like, right there, you've already got this whole thing. And it's an instigation that pretty much this dude pretty much gets almost beat to death by a fucking just pair of raw fists over $2. And so, very fucking raw and gritty. If anybody's never seen this movie, I highly recommend it. If you dig movie with, like, some old school 80s violence, a soundtrack to it, even they can only use what they could for the sources for the music. I will still say that the soundtrack for this, especially being the 80s, that synced up perfectly. If you was to take this movie and watch this movie like as a double feature with Valley Girl, which I love Valley Girl, I'm one of those people. But yeah, this one right here will take the cake for me every time just because of the amount of violence in it. Yeah, couldn't recommend that shit enough right there. This is probably Brad, I remember it was probably about a week ago. I was texting you being like, hey, if you don't have this yet from Severin, if it's $15 in the sale, it's a no-brainer. Please fucking get it. Definitely check it out. And then like a couple of days later, man, I was putting this right back in just so I could just go hop into bed and fall asleep to it on in the background because even the dialogue for this movie is really fucking good, even though it's very low budget. So yeah, Boys Next Door from Severin.
I got it sitting on the shelf over there. I haven't watched it yet. I'll check it out.
Tony speaks.
Did you get the Black Label 101s as well? Because I know you were getting all those. They did a Black Label for this one for 101.
No, I got the same release you got right there. I don't have the 101 yet. I'm still missing a few of those.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely check it out, Alan. I think you'll definitely like it, man. I mean, as much. It's a very fucking simplistic movie, man, but just at the end of the day, it's just raw, brutal anarchy and violence, man.
I want to say that Tony at Basement Blues reviewed that one on Gizmo Channel Sunday, and he had good things to say about it.
Well, I didn't watch that, but he did recommend it on the Severin recommendation stream.
Yeah.
It was one of his 5. So.
Cool deal.
He speaks highly of it.
Oh, it was Texas. It was Russell that reviewed it. Yeah, he just had the chat.
I'll catch up with the chat and move right on along here. I'm buzzing through these. Those 300 years before the Game of Thrones series.
Yeah.
How the hell is that going to work?
It's talking about the history of the family. I'm going to draw a blank on which family it is, but it's the Dragon family.
The Dragon Whore?
Yeah. Well, the Dragon Whore ain't it, but it's the Dragon Whore's earlier family.
Fucking Dragon Whore.
Whore, great grandmamas and stuff. So, like, I got to rewatch season 1. But
Guy Alley is obviously a fan of Robert Forster.
I am too. That's why I was excited to see him in this. Like, well, he's gone. We're talking 3 minutes. Opening shot, he's gone.
I don't see any comments from Alley. I don't know what he's talking about.
And hear Robert Forster talk about it in the special features. He's like, Walter Hill contacted me to be in the movie. And next thing I know, I'm packing my fucking bags. He said, I'm done. He's like, what the fuck?
We can't afford you anymore. Leave.
Yeah, budget ran out. They were like, we can't even afford this catering. Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
We can't afford your hairpiece for this fucking movie.
And it's funny, James Spader got all buffed up for this movie to be like the action hero. And I think about James Spader as an action hero because he delivers his lines so calmly and he's always so serene. And think about him being kind of the badass, so to speak. And this movie was pretty comical.
He's got to be somebody with like.
And just a little bit more about the bad guy, that guy from Twilight, whatever, and Can't Hardly Wait. He did a pretty good job being the bad guy, and he's like a pretty much a Big Lots version of Tom Cruise. Is what he is. And he's a decent actor. I think his problem is the reason why his career just took a big shit is because all the 12-year-old girls that watch Twilight have now grown up.
Yeah.
And the Twilight movies kind of fucked him a little bit, is what I think, because he was great and Can't Hardly Wait. He's one of those actors that very easily could have been a superstar, and yeah, like I think he did okay at this, but I think this movie was part of his reason why his career never took off.
Yeah, one last thing I want to say about Maxine. We're all, pushing 40, or some of us a little past 40. Apparently, in Maxine, there's a lot of like cool, young, hip artists and YouTube personalities or whatever that we probably don't know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know anybody in the movie other than Mia Goth and old fucking dude from Breaking Bad, basically, Kevin Bacon. But maybe that is, would do something more for some of these people. Maybe there's references that we don't understand. I don't know, but Johnny said earlier,
I feel very sure that on a rewatch of this, I'm going to pick up on a lot of those little things I missed.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
So it might be it might just be we're too old. I don't know, but
that's a good way to look at it, though, man. Because a lot of people younger than us, man, though, like you just said, it's probably somebody on YouTube, like multiple people on YouTube that we don't even associate with that kind of artsy kind of bullshit, and we're just like, we don't even know who the fuck that is, but they see him and they're like, oh, like that played a significant part for that scene, and it's like, well, we know who the fuck that is. So that's completely fair.
In X, there's some rapper in there. There's the black guy, everybody's favorite character, most likable character is the black guy. Apparently, that's some rapper, some famous rapper that I just thought it was some actor. So I mean, I thought he did a great job.
Kid Cudi.
These other whatever they are, I mean, like I didn't think anybody did a great job other than even Maxine. Her character wasn't doing much for me.
Yeah, Kid Cudi in X was probably my favorite character.
Yeah,
exactly. And I was going to say this too. Believe it or not, but like Kid Cudi is actually like that guy makes really good fucking music. He did one of the songs for the remake of Fright Night. Nobody Believes Me, which is still like one of the best songs to really fit a fucking movie. When you hear it, it's like kind of goosebumps on the back of your neck kind of song.
I do wish that the boyfriend from X, whatever, the director guy, the cowboy guy, the Matthew McConaughey looking fucker.
Oh, okay.
I wish he would have survived, and we could have seen him coked out, whatever, in the 80s. Yeah, he was a fucking hilarious character in X.
He wouldn't have handled it well. You can tell he would have been
strung out, whatever, just being kind of like following and Maxine around like a little puppy dog. All strung out at the house or something on the couch, just coked out. Would have been funny.
He probably got tetanus and lockjaw from that fucking rusty nail he stepped on in the fucking bar.
Fucking pitchfork and Zamo probably didn't help either.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The black guy from X, he's really the only victim. Everybody else is just a nasty, horrible person. He's just there doing his job, hanging out. He's not like the cucky guy that let that all go, that everybody hated suddenly. The girlfriend that everybody hated now for doing that, or Brittany Snow's like nasty to her for no reason. She throws that fucking rag on her and everything. Like
that rag.
Even Maxine is kind of nasty and getting kind of mean. So it's like he's the only character that's redeemable and likable, and he gets blown away at the pond or whatever it was, the lake.
They're all sitting in the living room and shit. It smells like feet eating bologna sandwiches, and you're just like, look, I can imagine the smell of that fucking room.
Yeah. It's like a porn dungeon now.
Smells like fucking and bologna sandwiches.
Yeah. They got like 14 pounds of bologna on the counter. It's like
a fucking log.
Yeah.
And it's just cut them like filet mignon size.
Yeah.
Just cut my
bologna.
First of all, don't buy a hunk of fucking spam from a convenience store.
A random gas station in the middle of nowhere, Texas. Steve saying, I don't ever remember hearing anything about Heart of the Sea. Yeah, Ron Howard. I don't know where it missed so bad, but it's legit, I think.
Well, speaking of Ron Howard, that kind of goes back into what I was saying about Supernova having too many cooks in the kitchen. That's what happened in fucking Solo. Ron Howard, I believe, if memory serves, came in and had to do a rewrite, and Ron Howard took over Solo right in the middle of it, and that movie was kind of a cluster because of that. It was very uneven because of the different directors. So even somebody like Ron Howard, when you got that going on, whatever, it's going to be a problem. I think that's what happened to Supernova.
Yeah, but the cast is there. I don't know, for $4.95, I would, like I said, there is a 4K, so it just depends on what you want to do there. The Blu-ray was fine for me. Steve saying the Game of Thrones history is extremely rich. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Hall Notes, Johnny, do you recommend Valley Girl and Boys Next Door as a double feature?
I mean, they're two completely different films, of course, but I'm a sucker for Valley Girl, and of course, I love Boys Next Door. I would watch them both back to back, just because I would probably participate in a substance while doing so, and it would make perfect fucking sense for me. I should have mentioned this, however, the special features. I'm pretty sure they're the same on the 101 as Severin. The special features on this. Unfortunately, there is no interview with Charlie Sheen because, he was probably way too busy sitting in Malibu doing coke off some whore's ass while they were putting this together, and there was just no way they had enough money to pay him. But, however, there is a legendary interview with, which I think he's a legend, which is Stephen Thrower. And he's pretty much given a really good breakdown of, what cinema was like at this time, what it was like to get an independent film shot. Especially the whole thing. Everybody was kind of linked up with mobs at this time, even in the 80s, trying to borrow money. They were putting fucking 40 points on these guys just to borrow money. But speaking of Stephen Thrower, too, I found out just a little bit ago that this is actually back in stock on Amazon for $50. They actually have it on sale. So if you're interested in that, now would be your time to grab it. I use this book as a
Bible.
Turn
this way.
It's
damn, War and Peace.
But I assure you, I go every time we have a sale, whether it's Vinegar Syndrome, Kino, Severin, fucking whatever. I always go back to this book because I'm constantly trying to pull out titles of it. Really cool little interesting thing right here, just to show you kind of like a spread of what kind of movies they're going to go over front to back. Every really good write up, and the whole book is done by Stephen Thrower himself. So. Used to be about $75 for this book. They dropped it down to $60, even though it's a hardcover. But right now on Amazon, that bitch is $49.99. I think there's only a couple left. I think there was 6 or 7 left when I looked at it, just to be on the safe side. And these things always, the availability, as soon as they're gone, it usually takes them about 3 to 6 months for them to replenish the availability of these. So anybody interested in one of these, I highly recommend it.
Steve just went in buy mode, I'm sure. This guy's name written all over it. Yeah. I think you mean Jive. Scalder, what's going on, man?
What's up, Scalder?
Russell's saying, Hall and I would, why not? I legit saw Purple Rain, Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the drive-in. Why not?
That's a hell of a combo right there. Fuck yeah. Variety, man. Everybody needs it.
Texas Porn Star Massacre. What a name. Craig has showed up. Okay, Craig.
What's up, Craig?
He's talking about the Scream Factory October releases being announced first week of August. Really hoping for The Faculty. Well, The Faculty's confirmed. I don't know if it's August, but that's confirmed a Scream Factory upcoming Blu-ray, I believe. I don't believe it's even a 4K. Wasn't that confirmed?
April, I think, originally.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of something else. But I thought it was a Blu-ray with supposedly new art. But yeah, I have no idea anymore. I would say some new re-releases. I talked about The Town That Dreaded Sundown 4K Collector's Edition. I could see that. It's about that time of year for it. Who knows, man? I mean, I think it's probably going to be all re-releases, unfortunately, but we'll see what happens when we get here. Craig doesn't even know what the stream's about at this point. You just wandered in. Hey, everybody, Scream Factory. Wild Wrangler, anybody seen Deer Camp 86? I have a screenshot of that on my phone to watch. It looks pretty interesting. It looks like Tucker and Dale versus Evil kind of thing. So it's making the rounds. Everybody's saying hey to Scalder. They're saying what's up to Craig. Of course he did. Sydney, what's going on, man?
What's up, Sydney?
Wild Wrangler says I own Nightmare USA, Johnny. Yeah, Trini. Yeah, we don't read.
He's like, fuck that.
Steve's saying Faculty's long overdue and for an overhaul. Scream Factory desperately needs to add some good titles to the repertoire. That being said, we're going to double. Yeah, that's it. I think it's all going to be double dips. But I swear I thought that was announced from Scream Factory Collector's Edition, The Faculty. I could be wrong.
We're getting Poltergeist 2, which I'm pretty excited about that. I mean,
Poltergeist 2 on 4K.
Yeah.
All right. So we're caught up with the chat. We're gonna move right on to number 3.
This won't take long. This movie here, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of myself that I bought this, that I own this. God damn, it's real bad, dude. It's a Dark Hall.
It doesn't look so bad.
I'm a fan of Tom Sizemore, but Tom Sizemore needs a Sylvester Stallone. He needs a Tom Hanks. He needs somebody leading the show, and he needs to be a supporting actor. That's what he is. And he's just not really leading man material, in my opinion. This is a sci-fi, just to give you an idea, this is a sci-fi original movie made for TV. I think it was 2014 this came out. You basically have a monster from an ancient prophecy comes alive from the dark beyond. The Secret Service is the one and only hope to fight for Doomsday. The demon is supposed to be the Jersey Devil, basically. And basically they're transporting this guy to sacred ground to try to kill him, this demon, put him in the back of a semi-truck, and they start hauling ass. And he has a sister that's she's a human form, but she's got all these special powers. It sounds dumb just talking about it. And basically she's supposed to be like the brother's keeper kind of thing, keeping him safe from killing other people, that kind of thing. The demon looks like something from a Saturday morning cartoon in 1987. It's very cartoony when it flies. It's got wings. Tom Sizemore it looks like the guy that ate Tom Sizemore. Damn. And he looks very swollen, rest in peace. My son came in right in the middle of me watching this, and he asked me who was in it. I said, rather Tom Sizemore. He had to look him up. And he looked at Tom Sizemore from 20 years ago, movies I've showed him, like fucking Lock Up, stuff like that. And he's like, he looks totally different. And I was like, yeah, no shit. But he's not a lead man. As much as I love Tom Sizemore, I hated to lose him because I think he is a gem, but he's not a lead man. But that being said, most sci-fi original movies made for TV, I'm not a big fan of it all. But this is probably the best one I've seen. There is a bright spot there, I guess. But I'm not going to lie, about the last, probably I had about 30 minutes left on this movie. And I was kind of doing a Brad. I was kind of double timing it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of waiting for it. It was that boring. The dialogue was fucking putrid. And it just wasn't good at all. But I was hoping for a movie like this, I just want to have fun. And I did not have fun. I can't wait for it to get over with. This is so being, I probably will sell this for fucking $5. This will go in my stash to sell at Orbit with a big group of them. But don't waste your time on this. This is definitely one of those movies. The only reason why I fucking owned it is I was trying to complete Scream Factory. Other than that, I wish I would have watched this before I bought it. And I hate the fucking movie because some of their standalones, most of them don't get slips. I hate that we wasted a slip in this fucking movie. That's how bad it is. But there's the fucking demon on the back, just kind of an image of him. Like I said, it looks like something from a kid's cartoon. What's that fucking one? The live action used to come on Saturday mornings in the 80s. Like y'all fucking know.
Gargoyles.
Center of the world or something. Whatever the fuck it was. Almost it's like a fat dude in a rubber suit flying around with some wings on, and it's garbage, dude. It's so fucking boring. Can't wait for it to get over with. I don't know what I fucking rank. I think it's a. Can we do a 0 out of 5?
Yeah, of course you
can. 0 out of 5.
Fair.
So,
damn.
I guess I can skip that one.
But if you're a fan of the sci-fi movies, you'll probably like it because this is the best one I've seen. I haven't seen many of them, but it's the best one I've seen. But I'm just not a big fan of the made-for-TV sci-fi shit. So,
made-for-TV sci-fi is pretty rough. I mean, you got to have money. There's rare exceptions. Prospect, they had very little money. That's a really good sci-fi movie with no money, but it's very rare to have no money and sci-fi and make it work.
Now the sister, she did a pretty good job. She's probably the best part of the whole movie. But I just, like I said, I was bored to tears.
All right. My number 3 is 2003's Lost in Translation. Bill Murray. Family member of mine's moving to Japan. I recommended this movie to them. Of course, my recommendations just fall on deaf ears, and it got me thinking about it. And I was like, well, I've got it. I'm going to watch it. I haven't seen it in years. Written and directed by Sofia Coppola. She never reached these heights again. She's done a few other movies. But this is a very strong, I mean, it's a comedy, dramedy. I don't know what you'd call this movie. It's a kind of a one of one. It's I don't know. What would you put the melancholy, comedy, weird, like life movie? This is something like UK Tony his eyes would bleed if he tried to watch this. But it does have a lot going for it. Surprisingly, it's kind of I really don't. It's tough to explain. You have Bill Murray, who's an aging film star, who takes a job doing endorsements in Japan for a whiskey company, which is a real whiskey company, Suntory Whiskeys. A lot of stars have done that in the past. Tommy Lee Jones has done it. So this is a real thing that happens for these type of actors, and he's playing a Bill Murray type actor. He's playing kind of a fictionalized version of himself, and he's over in Japan, and he's just miserable. He's just a little bit past that midlife thing where it's like, I'm a little too old for even a midlife crisis at this point. He's married to the same woman for 25 years. They have kids that are almost out of the house, and he's just kind of searching for anything to kind of get him out of this funk, poor little rich man funk that he's in. And he runs across Scarlett Johansson, who is a newlywed and a philosophy major who has got nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to do. She's bored out of her mind. Her husband is very immature and doesn't want to do anything, and she just wants to go out and experience the world. And it's like Bill Murray wants to be younger, she wants to be older, and they become friends, and it's like a romance to an extent, a big flirtation, and it goes through those dynamics. And it's really well made. It's really well done. I hate to give Sofia Coppola any kind of credit, but it's a really good, really strong, comedy. It's got heart, as they say. But it's just a fun time. They just get into hijinks together. They have a good time, and it goes into, like I said, they're in different stages of their lives, and I think it's explained very well. And it just goes together very well. And it's not my type of movie at all, generally. But I've always enjoyed it. I've probably seen it 2 or 3 times my whole life. And like I said, all this stuff was post Maxine. So listen, take it with a grain of salt, because everything that I just watched before or after Maxine looked like the best movies ever to me. So I don't think that plays into this. Like, I've always liked this movie. Alan, I recommended it to him a while ago. I know Ryan really likes this movie a lot. It's just a first class, kind of a wink and nod comedy. That's what I would call it. I know this is where Johnny goes, this is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. What do you think of the movie, Johnny?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, the thought that was going through my mind as soon as you held that up is like, I saw you go 2 for 2 there, where I was like, you held up 2 movies that I never really kind of thought that you would hold up and be like, yeah, I went ahead and watched this, because I'm like, that'd be kind of like you buying Mildred Pierce from Criterion and being like, you guys should check this out.
Yeah.
By the way, if anybody out there who's bought that fucking Criterion, I don't want to have no affiliation with you whatsoever. Like, don't message me or anything, because that's not my fucking thing. But there's something wrong with you, anybody who likes that fucking movie. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised you did. It's got Bill Murray in it, so I'll give you that. Hell of the King, man. We all love Bill Murray to fucking death, man. Come on, man. I mean, Groundhog Day, all that great shit. But I definitely, I can see Heart of the Sea too, because I got you. That's a little bit more action based, but Lost in Translation that's a little weird for me to see you hold up. It's making me kind of wonder, like, is Brad at that point in his life where he's like, I'm ready to open the door and experience some new things in life?
I'm not ready to experience any new things, but there are some parallels where I can see, he's like sitting in this hotel. And he's like, I should be really, really enjoying this. I'm getting paid $2 million, and then at the same time, he's like, you know what I should be doing? I should be doing a play. Like, I should be doing the shit that I was doing when I was young. Like, there's a lot. I think the Bill Murray character, it's like without them saying much, both of them, Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray, without them saying much, you know exactly what they're thinking and exactly what is going on in their lives. And it's a good character piece, put it that way.
Throughout the duration of this video, you're not going to hold up St. Vincent or some other shit, are you?
My last one's a Criterion. So
okay, all right. All right, next up, guys. Alan brought his name up here just a little bit ago. It's a James. It's not a James Spader film, but he's in it. He is like pretty much the main villain in it. For some reason, I never caught this fucking movie. It's an 80s flick. I loved it to death. This was recommended by Anthony over in the UK fucking years ago when I was getting my 101 film stuff together. And just happened to go pull it off the shelf as a random movie just to pop in real quick so me and the wife could watch something to kill some time. And man, this was a fucking treat. But that is the 101 Films release of The New Kids. Dug the hell out of this. Pretty much a simple story set up by these two siblings right here. They're pretty much they have a military father, so they move around a lot. Their parents die in a car wreck. They actually go live with, I believe it's like the uncle, and he's got like this really rundown like fucking amusement park that he's trying to build, and it's just a shack basically. But they start to run into a lot of problems with like the local high school kids that are like into drugs and violence and all kinds of other shit. Really good fucking scenes in this movie. And it was such a shame that I waited so long to see it because Anthony was like, God, man, like you've had that on your shelf now for months. Like, go fucking watch that movie. It's like right up your alley. That's your kind of flick. And I just never got around to it. But a great release by 101 Films. I believe this was, I should do a little bit of homework first. This is definitely an 80s flick. I just can't recall exactly what year it's from. I'm not sure if anybody else put this out beside 101 Films because this is going to be a region B for most people. For 101 Films. Just trying to think if it was there.
Umbrella do that also? Am I thinking of another? Is it just the kids? I don't know. Did Severin do that same title? Also, I don't know. That's another kids movie.
No, actually, those retro VHS Mill Creek releases, whatever.
There you go. I remember seeing that shit too.
I have that, and I also have the 101 also.
There you go.
Yeah,
damn good flick right here. If you want to have some fun with an old 80s flick, it's definitely a revenge flick. Pretty much the brother has to take revenge. There's a couple of scenes. There's a scene in here where I'm like literally thinking, and the girl that's on the cover right there, that's the bitch that from Full House, Uncle Jesse's bitch, who like paid the professor to try to get her kid in college, and she went to jail. And what's her name? Lauren something, I can't remember.
I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, but she's in here like a younger version of her. There looks like there's this fucking crazy scene that's about to come up where she's about to get raped, like just like out in the fucking middle of nowhere. It's like in front of a barn somewhere or some shit. But instead of raping her, they like pull her fucking pants down and they start spraying lighter fluid on her, start playing with a Zippo and shit to try to light her on fire. And I was laughing my ass off the whole time. My wife was like, God, you're a sick person.
Sounds like a Cat 3.
So definitely, you're gonna have some fun. Check that out. That's definitely worth the money that I paid for it right there. I'll definitely revisit that soon.
Oh, Lost in Translation. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, probably 3 out of 5.
Oh shit! I've been kind of like forgetting to do the whole review thing too.
It doesn't.
My bad.
I forget, and then later it comes up, and not that anybody cares. I don't know. We review it a lot. Most of the time, the people have seen what we're pulling anyway.
Yeah.
Sydney movie recommendation: The Imposter, 2012 crime documentary. I know of it. It's on my watch list to pick up. I've heard really good things about it. It's a documentary about stolen identity or something in France or somewhere. Trini, I don't get excited. You don't get excited for anything anymore, other than some new shitty TV show. The worse it is, the more you're into it. Yeah. I mean, listen, they've done a great job at damaging their reputation, but that doesn't mean they can't come back. And like I said, Arrow had a down year when they got bought, and now look at them. They're doing great shit. Trini, I didn't mind Dark Hall. There you go. There's a ringing endorsement. Chris C, what's going on, man?
So, Chris.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody's saying, hey. Trini's saying you got to watch Mosquito now. I feel like Alan's seen Mosquito.
I'll say Mosquito.
Yeah. It's good. I was thinking that when that was being held up. I like Mosquito with Gunnar Hansen.
Gunnar Hansen, yeah.
Pop's movie recommendation: The Guilty, a Danish version of the original, directed by Gustav Mahler. Crime drama, The Guilty. That sounds familiar. I'm not familiar with it like 100%, but that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, texting myself. I'll fucking forget.
Hall & Oates, yeah. Sofia Coppola needs to stop doing biopics. She needs to stop doing anything. I mean, it's she's not good. And then
just stop everything.
Just fucking retire.
I don't know who helped her with Lost in Translation, but that's a movie. I think what the movie is, it surprised me that I liked it.
Just do Brad a favor and stop breathing altogether.
Just stop. You, fucking Dario Argento's kid, just stop. It's enough.
Was that Asia Argento? Or
Asia Argento, yeah, it's enough. Chris C liked Maxine. That's cool. Yeah.
It's a Brian Goes Blue film right there. I know he loves the fuck out of the Virgin Suicides.
Yeah, she's done enough. It's enough. Sydney, question: what movie played the biggest role in your childhood?
Mine's gonna be the Star Wars franchise. That's what got me into movies, so it's got to be it. But Rocky's obviously a close second. But there's others. But man, I mean, it's got to be Star Wars. That's a generic answer, but that's what it is for me. That's what got me into film so much. So
mine's gonna be Maximum Overdrive, 100%.
Oh yeah, that's a great pick.
Call me an asshole.
It's the shit that you rented the most back then. Yep. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. I remember vividly watching Star Wars movies in Sears. Not a big Star Wars fan, but as a little kid, it was always fascinating me. It's like you could watch. It's like a unedited Star Wars loop. It's not like it wasn't. I don't know if it was a tape or what it was, but there was no commercials. Remember that, but. Basket Case is probably the one that I would say.
Friday the 13th Part 3, Poltergeist, Cujo, Psycho 2. That's what got me into my horror shit. Mm-hmm. And so I would say those movies stand there pretty tall too, whatever. That's why I'm such a big horror fan. Those are the movies I've rewatched all. It's about what you rented. I used to rent Cujo all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
those are heavy hitters too, man. Every single fucking one of those you just named off is like out the gate.
Friday 3, man. Not really seeing horror movies too much. The first one I ever seen in theaters, and that scared the shit out of me in 3D. First time I seen it. It doesn't now, obviously. I don't know why it ever did, but first time I seen it, yeah, it got me. I mean, fuck, I was, 12, 11?
Yeah. Something like that. Sick fuck. I saw, what is it? Candyman back to back when I was 5. Watched it 2 times in a row in the middle of the night. That was the first one.
Seeing Carrie on TV when I was about 8 or 9, and that fucking hand coming out of the ground, that final shot, put me in therapy for about 5 years. Fucked me up. And then watching The Exorcist, the TV version of The Exorcist, even before 10, was another movie that I never should have fucking watched. Because the devil was coming to get me after that. It scared me.
I think that's the time to see The Exorcist, or not The Exorcist. Now I was thinking of Poltergeist. Poltergeist, that's the time to see it, is when you're a kid, I think.
Yeah, me and you were on the phone. You were watching it for the first time, whatever. We were both watching it together, and it's like that was your first time watching it, and from your eyes at your age, I could understand it not hitting as hard.
Yeah,
seeing it when I seen it, and then my brother making me stay awake till the static came on TV.
Yeah,
I had a fear of that movie that kind of carried over to me having an appreciation for it now. I look at it now, and it's definitely not scary. It's more of a very light comedy, a very light horror, more of a comedy movie almost. But still, I love that fucking movie. I'm gonna stay in mind Poltergeist. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I mean, I rented The Shining very young, and I remember I had to, explain to my grandmother that there was no nudity in it, and then the person behind the counter was like, "Oh yeah, there's no nudity, and it's like a ghost story or whatever."
You got the rotten titty lady.
Yeah, there's the rotten, disgusting horror in the room 237, but other than that, it's like it wasn't like. Back then, what you were worried about was a Friday the 13th movie or something like that, a Freddy movie that had tons and tons of nudity in it. That's what they were worried about. Yeah, I guess. Calm the hell down. Scholar, of course, with his impeccable taste, did not like Lost in Translation. T2, Mortal Kombat. A lot of people will say T2 because that was, a lot of people saw it at the right age. It's a cool movie for a kid to see, and it's rated R, but you were allowed to see it somehow. Game Wish had an answer. The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, probably that is the answer.
I think anybody in our age group is going to lean towards that a little bit.
Terminator, Night of the Demons. Yeah, both video store staples.
Just a great mashup too, man. Especially with that Night of the Demons splashed in with some fucking Arnold. It's like, wow, hell yeah.
Yeah, New Kids. I have to check out that movie. I haven't seen it. Trini, we need to What About Bob Blu-ray.
Bob.
About time for 4K now.
It was Kino. Kino needs to do that.
Skip over that.
Be a perfect Kino title too. Like that's right there, alley.
Another perfect Kino title. Me and Johnny have talked about this, but fucking Rounders, which might slow down the stream. Who knows? But that needs a 4K in the worst way, and I'd love to see Kino do it.
I won't mind seeing a really nice box set from Second Sight either.
Yeah, there's no Blu-ray.
Man, that's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, there's a Blu-ray of Rounders. We discovered that. But I had not known this whole time that there was a Blu-ray. I was like, I thought it was just a DVD, and it's just like a shitty, studio Blu-ray. It's nothing special. But yeah, Second Sight, I think it'd be great for it. It's probably more likely a Kino title, but I think it would look great in 4K. Sculder says 101 Films has the year on the spine. Well, there you go.
Now, be warned, the last broadcast I bought 3 fucking times from Orbit, and I kept on messaging Tony going, "What the fuck? Mine don't have the number on the spine." Because they're numbered, not the year, but the number. And what the fuck? And I finally realized there's a UK version and a US release. The US release doesn't have the number on the spine. The UK one does. So
yeah, it's from 1985, and I was looking at the comments too. And they pointed out like so obvious it is Sean S. Cunningham film. Of course, he's been around forever and a day though. Look at the original what am I thinking of? The Last House on the Left from Wes Craven. Like that was Wes Craven's film, but Craven only got the money because Sean S. Cunningham actually put up the money for him to do it. And for some reason, like there was like that little run where like between this and there's little sprinkles of rape for some reason in the Cunningham films. It's like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, Friday 13th.
Cunningham. This is one of my stack from Scream Factory I still got to watch. Well, that's a Cunningham film I've never heard of. Anybody ever seen that?
No, I've not seen it.
Watching.
So I'll be watching that here soon.
I think that's made for TV, if I remember correctly.
Some of those are okay, but usually they ain't my thing.
Cunningham, a lot of that. David Spader's in it.
Plays the main villain in it too. Like he's like the leader of the badass kids in that fucking movie. There's like they got like a vicious ass dog in there too. Like there's some good fucking violence in that movie for like I didn't just looking at the cover. I just thought it was like a teenagers run amok kind of movie, but there was a good enough chunk of violence where I was like, damn, these kids are getting raw. So I dug it.
Sydney's going through the 5 he watched. Traces of Red, 92. Unfaithful, 2002. That seems right up your alley.
Was that Richard Gere?
Richard Gere and the Snow Globe. That's every cucked husband's wettest dream coming true. I'll go find the guy and I'm going to bash his skull in with a fucking snow globe. I don't know. That's a pretty interesting movie. What's the broad's name in it? Unfaithful? Diane Lane, right?
Yeah.
Tenderness, 2009. I'm not familiar with that. Daughter of the Wolf. And Locke. Okay, A24. That's
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, okay. He's driving around in the car all the time. Yeah. Still haven't seen it.
And Tom Hardy's got like the new the biker movie out right now,
Bike
right?
Riders or bicyclists.
That accent.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
That's Jeff Nichols' movie. It could be pretty good. The title looks pretty. The title's pretty shitty. Bike Riders or whatever, bicyclists or whatever it is. The Schwinn Boys. I mean, it's just fucking like super gay title, but for a biker movie. But I think Norman Reedus is in it. There's a lot of big time talent in it, so it could be pretty good.
I'll definitely check it out.
The Foot Freak. What's his fucking name? God damn it! The guy from Take Shelter.
Oh, fucking my Zod.
Yeah, Zod. Yeah.
Yeah.
the new Christopher Walken, whatever his name is, he's in it also. He's in every Jeff Nichols movie.
You talking about the detective from Boardwalk Empire?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
We'll just keep going. Do we can figure out his fucking name? We'll get there.
We're showing how fucking old and fucking slow-witted we are when we get live.
It's not coming up. Hagen saying New Kids looks interesting. Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. Steve saying he likes Locke. Diane Lane Unfaithful. Yeah, I think her like friends like
Michael Shannon.
Yeah,
Michael Shannon. Yep. There you go.
If I remember correctly, in Unfaithful, Diane Lane is just like a big time whore, and she's like naked the whole movie. And her friends are like commenting constantly about her looking way too good for her age. And that probably
she was younger, so she had some goddamn stink on her, son.
Yeah.
She had some goddamn gravy on the tater when she was younger. I ain't gonna lie. But,
good Lord.
Just saying.
Well, they had to like ugly her up for Batman v Superman to make her look old and older and kind of, to be Superman's mom. Like that's the way I heard it. They had to really like kind of make her, and usually you don't have that with a 55-year-old woman actor in Hollywood, but she didn't get none of the fucking work done. She didn't get her forehead stapled or whatever they're fucking doing now.
All right, let's be gentlemen about it. Diane Lane or Diane Keaton? Which one you going for?
Diane, I can't think of.
I'm not talking about who the better actress is. I'm talking about who you gonna plow.
I'm blanking on who fucking Diane Keaton is. So Diane Lane. Diane Lane. Yeah, there you go.
She's a little easy in the movie Unfaithful. Anyway, she fucks that douchebag artist dude. He's gay.
The book dealer.
Whatever the fuck he is.
Yeah. He gets it. He gets what's coming to him. That fucking guy. He's too pretty. He's everything. Fuck that guy. He ends up like rolled up in a carpet and thrown in a fucking dumpster, like just the trash that he is. I don't know. Like that movie I remember was strangely satisfying because you don't think Richard Gere's got it in him. He's like this huge pussy, and he like confronts the fucking book dealer, and then he finds the snow globe that Diane Lane has re-gifted to the guy she's fucking behind his back. And he just brains him until his skull fucking cracks into pieces.
Let's give the woman some credit, though. I mean, maybe she had to fucking turn to get what she needed because he was too busy fucking around with some gerbils and shit in real life.
Richard Gere plays like an architect or something. He's away from home a lot.
I did not. I had nowhere.
Going
out of a million years, I never thought we'd be talking about this movie. Fucking Unfaithful.
The last five. We all three watched Unfaithful.
Jesus.
What the hell is this?
These guys are falling off bad.
Poltergeist, I was 3 years old. I mean, that's tough for a little kid. The tree.
He's probably 3 years old hiding behind the fucking couch and shit and just like trying to peek over and be like, fuck that.
Yeah. Friday the 13th, part 3. The first one I saw was 9, Jason Goes to Hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know that it was a part of anything else. I just thought, because it's not called 9, it's called Jason Goes to Hell. And I just, you don't really connect it until you start watching everything else. Chris C, F-13 Final Chapter was the first time. I think it was 10, Child's Play. Yeah,
Child's Play 2 was a big one for me too, man. Really big. Just like Evil Dead and fucking Maximum Overdrive.
You had the what was her fucking name? The Bradley, the girl. Was her name Bradley? The teenage girl and all that. She's like, the second one, I still like the second one more than the first one. But I think they're kind of all about the same level. The first 3. Poltergeist and Omen did it for me. And he's from New York. I think he lives near the Omen house, actually, or lived near it. Saw Candyman, Dr. Giggles VHS days, yeah.
Dr. Giggles.
You and I both. Yeah, man. Joe Bob just showed Dr. Giggles last Friday night. Yeah, Candyman was another one. That shit started fucking out of me.
That clown is such a little bitch, by the way. The clown drags the kid under the bed, and like 2 minutes later, the kid is ripping the clown apart. It's just like literally like right after it happens, he's like beating that clown's ass. It's a little kid.
Well, fuck that kid. That clown should have never been in the fucking bedroom to start with.
Yeah.
Damn sure he put in the fucking bed and stare at me all fucking night.
Yeah. No shit, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I was a kid. Fuck that clown. When I was a kid. So.
You would not have that in your room at all.
No. I agree, Texas. That's a fucking movie I slept on way too long for Scream Factory. Then I watched it and I was like, God damn, that's a great flick.
That's one of the ones I'm watching for the next Gizmo stream, whatever, sitting right over there. I got to watch it the next month.
I watched that and Ravenous like back to back, and I was like, why the fuck did I leave those on the shelf for so long without watching them? Those two right there, I'm a big fan. I don't know
why I haven't seen it yet. No.
Everybody's saying what's up. Everybody's talking about Jack's Black. Interesting twist. Jack's back, not Jack's Black. That's a different movie. Chris C. OG, Last House on the Left, all-time production, Cass Cunningham, Steve Miner as well.
I just thought of my joke. I couldn't think of the name of the fucking movie, so I never said it. When you said the fucking Whale movie was the best whaling movie ever, Jack Black and Shallow Hal was a little better, I think.
Unsubscribe.
I'm fast, so I can say shit like that. So I'm just saying. If that movie didn't offend me, fuck everybody for getting offended.
Yeah, that movie again, top of the list, couldn't be made today.
Oh hell no! But goddamn, it's funny though.
Yeah,
I will say though, man, like they were pretty like spot on, legit about that whole toast scene. Because dude, I don't think I could have fucked with that neither. Like, I don't know, man. That's just too freaky, man.
Jason, whatever his name is, he's really good in that. The little bald guy from Seinfeld, he's great. Jason Alexander, yeah. He's the unsung hero of that movie. He's just grossed out by everything. It works perfectly. He's like, which one, the hippo or the giraffe? Jesus. And it's like I don't know. Good Tony Robbins cameo. Wild Wrangler, Jason Goes to Hell. First movie to throw up to.
Damn.
I don't know. I think it has the best kill in the franchise. The tent post massacre scene. Won't go into that. Steve, New Kids, we could double feature with Summer Camp Nightmare from your last five. Everybody's saying Michael Shannon. Out of nowhere, the Mothman Prophecies 2002 with Richard Gere is pretty creepy.
Yeah. Took place in Virginia, right? Or West Virginia, either one.
Yeah, it's West Virginia. And you'll know it if you go to the town, Point Pleasant. There's a giant steel statue of the Mothman. That's like their entire claim to fame.
Of course, because they sell bullshit novelty items to tourists, just like they do with Bigfoot and Sasquatch and shit.
I don't know that there's even a tourist shop. I mean, you're giving West Virginia way too much credit. But I've spent plenty of time in Point Pleasant, and that statue is about the end of it.
Well, you probably get like a free figurine every time you buy like a jar of fucking moonshine from somewhere, some store, some shack.
There's a Bigfoot on the side of the moonshine bottle you bought.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's Diane Lane. A lot of Diane Lane stuff going on.
Fucking Hollywood boy, he's not holding back. He's like, I'm fucking plowing.
Respectfully, of course.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who Diane Keaton is. I don't even know. So that should tell you everything there is to know about Diane Keaton. What is she even in? Who is Diane Keaton? In relation to Michael Keaton? Is
that the 1809 shit? I'm trying to think of some movies offhand. Just their name just rings.
It sounds familiar.
Somebody, trust me, there's going to be like 8 movies that's about to pop up in that comment section right there.
Hagen, have you guys heard about the new Costner Western? I've heard really good things. It's it's over 3 hours long, but I've heard very good things about it. And it's part 1 of 2 or 3.
Well, first I heard 2, but they got 2 on the poster. The supposedly there's going to be 4 parts to it.
4 parts, okay.
And the first part I think is like 3 hours long. I think so. It's a long ass movie.
Yeah.
Is it conjunction with Yellowstone or is this 1809?
No, this is why he left Yellowstone. One of the reasons I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to wait and I'm probably not going to go to theaters. I'm definitely going to get it, and I'll watch it in here. I probably won't go to theaters and watch that one.
That's a good thing to break up in 2 parts. But Joe Joker, he really liked it. I talked to him about it. He really liked it, but he's really big into westerns. So I mean, who knows? A 3-hour runtime. I mean, it better be fucking good. Better be great. All notes, do a deep dive on that director. It's all fuck movies. That sounds about right. The person who did Unfaithful.
Unfaithful. Yeah.
Pop's movie recommendations: The Burning Plane, 2008 crime drama mystery romance. Not Charlize Theron, Jennifer Lawrence. I've not seen that either. I heard about it. Burning Plane.
Got some gals in it.
We're almost through the chat here. Heard Costner doesn't show up until 45 minutes in. Jesus.
Damn, what an opening.
Yeah, but goddamn, if it's 4 parts, it's going to have 9 more hours. He's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Good point.
What I've heard about it, and I hadn't heard much, whatever, is that there's a lot of stories all getting built up, whatever, in this first movie. That it's probably just a lot of getting to know all these different storylines. They're all probably all kind of glommed together eventually. But so I heard the first one's got a lot of beautifully shot, but a lot of dry spots. Is what I've heard. But
Sydney's got a good question here. What movie, in your opinion, has the worst sex scene that definitely made you laugh?
Without a doubt, the one that made me laugh that I love and enjoy the most, whatever, is fucking Ebola syndrome. When you got fucking you got that karate motherfucker, fucking like Bruce Lee, and it's really, really fucking funny to me.
Well, which one?
Any of them. Mainly the guy that makes you the badass, whatever, and when the dude's fucking jerking off with the chicken, looking through the fucking whatever, that guy that he's looking at, whatever.
Spoil the goddamn movie, Alan. Jesus.
We already spoiled everything about Maxine, and Ebola syndrome has been out for like a couple years from
the clown ass, whatever, and his face like he's in a fucking fight scene with Bruce Lee.
Oh,
yeah. He fucking goddamn, it's great. So that's the first one that comes to mind.
It's like, which rape scene are you talking about, Alan? Oh, you're talking about the consensual scene. The one consensual scene.
You didn't say specifically like what type of sex scene, so I'm going to go definitely right off the bat for brain damage with the blowjob scene, because that shit right there. Every time I see it, I know what it's coming, and I just laugh my ass off.
The after, when he's examining his own underwear in an alley, and he has no memory of this, and got his underwear, but it's just bloody holes ripped in it. And he's just like, "What the fuck did I do last night?" That's pretty good. God.
About to hold up one of that guy's films here in just a little bit for my last spot too.
Man, I don't even. Ebola syndrome's great. I hate the movie Showgirls, the pool scene.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
That's more cringe than his laugh, though, right?
It's pretty bad. That's definitely the worst. There's a movie called Greenberg with Ben Stiller. He has a sex scene in that movie. That's pretty hilarious.
American Psycho. When he's looking at himself, pointing whatever. That's a fucking great scene.
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot about that, Alan. Fuck, man. Yeah, that is a great fucking scene, man. You clever motherfucker.
The Heartbreak
He's
Kid.
He's like fucking.
Yeah, they're fucking great. Goddamn, I love it.
It's pretty good. If you've ever seen The Heartbreak Kid, his wife's a born again virgin. Again, Ben Stiller. That whole bit. I'd even go. What's it called? Dumb and Dumber with the headlights.
Yeah.
Diane Keaton is. I'm starting to. Yeah, I think I'm putting it together. Yeah. Steve saying MacGruber. That's pretty good. When he's ghost banging his dead wife. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Absolutely. Scalder's been hearing good things about the Horizon. I've heard good things about it. I mean, when am I going to want to see a fucking 3-hour movie?
I was like filming. What exactly is Horizon?
That's the movie with Kevin Costner. Isn't it called Horizon?
Okay. Is it going to be like a 9-hour fucking Western?
Yeah.
Okay.
Motorhome, Friday the 13th, Part 6. Talking about that Western. Pool scene is the definition of cringe. Yeah. It's pretty bad.
He's going to defend that movie. I can't believe it.
Right. He's trolling. Basket Case 2. Now that's a sex scene.
There you go. It is.
Beau's Afraid. I haven't seen that yet. Another 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Ted, the what's it called? The stuffed animal, stuffed bear.
Just plowing that bitch on the produce in the back of the supermarket.
Team America, World Police.
Mm-hmm.
Sculder's new favorite movie. Yeah, Basket. He loves them, all of them.
Naked Gun, Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen. Oh, I practice. First off, he has a fucking tuxedo he just pulls off. And they both say they practice safe sex to wear full body condoms.
Hot Shots Part 2.
Damn, man, yeah.
Oh, when he's cooking breakfast on her stomach or some shit. Yeah, I ain't seen that in a while.
Showgirls is a national treasure. So yeah, okay, right. It's always foreigners that like that movie. All right, we're moving on to number 2.
Right. I don't know how you guys are going to react to this, but I'm ready to fucking fight to the death on this next one. So we'll see. Vision Quest.
That's the wrestling movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This motherfucker right here. Me and my son watched this last night. Where my son's 26, never seen it before. He didn't realize that Matthew Modine had done anything before Stranger Things. He only knows him from Stranger Things. And so he was very excited
like 50.
him in this, whatever. Let's just say that when this movie was over with, I mean, I got nostalgia for this movie. I grew up with it. My son has never seen it. And he was like, Daddy, so that was fucking great. He said, that's up there with like Karate Kid being great. He was comparing it to Karate Kid, and I totally agree with him.
Yeah.
If you have not seen this is one of those fucking movies that when it's over with, you're saying, fuck, I'm just going to jog to work the next day. Get your all jacked up. I'm going to go outside and paint the house 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Make you feel good, Rocky, Karate Kid, all that bullshit. And my son asked me, he says, why is this movie not talked about the way the Karate Kid is, the way Rocky is? He says, fuck, it's in the same ballpark. Mm-hmm. I told him I didn't have an answer for him. I said, this movie here really got overshadowed by Madonna being in it. Madonna was just getting big when she was in this movie, got a couple songs in it. She performs in it. And then overseas, this movie is actually called, her song in the fucking movie, Crazy for You. That's the song she sings in this. That's the name of this movie overseas in a lot of countries. But Matthew Modine is great in this. It's one of his early things that he did, whatever. You got Linda Florentine, the chick there, the first thing she's ever done. First time she ever auditioned for a movie, she got the part. You have Ronnie Cox. Ronnie Cox is great in fucking everything. He's good in this, playing the dad. Forrest Whitaker is super fucking young in this. I want to say it's either the year before or year after Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You got a great fucking cast. I mean, basically, he's a kid trying to drop weight to wrestle in a lower class. He's about to work himself to death, starving himself to death. This girl gets fucked over at the used car lot where his dad works. His dad ends up defending her and punching the boss. Loses his job. They decide to give her an opportunity to come live with them while she come up with the money to get her money back she lost on the car. So, of course, you have a teenage boy, which these guys are actually the same age. Matthew Modine's 26 years old playing a high school kid, and she's about the same age, whatever. And she's supposed to be, 21. He's supposed to be like 17. He falls in love with her. You got the love story aspect, whatever. And I'm not a big, wrestling fan, especially not this type of wrestling. But it fucking works. It's kind of like, I know people are going to disagree with this. You got fucking, over the top being an arm wrestling movie. I'm not a big arm wrestler. I don't ever watch fucking arm wrestling on ESPN 3 or 2 or whatever.
ESPN 8.
I love that. This movie fucking works. And the build up, of him, the shit he goes through to finally, to get down to the right weight to fight this badass, I think his name is Shoot, that he has to fight, whatever. Basically, the guy hadn't lost in like 3 years. And it's just got, on top of this, got a great fucking soundtrack. I kind of made a note of all the songs in this. You got Journey, Foreigner, Dio, Sammy Hagar, Madonna, John Waite, Don Henley. Most people probably never heard of this, but Red Rider. This is kind of like the Eye of the Tiger song for this movie. It's a band called, or artist called Red Rider, and the song's called Lunatic Fringe.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So the soundtrack's fucking great, which just adds to it. But this is definitely right in the same vein as Karate Kid, as Rocky. It's one of those fucking movies that you want to just feel good, throw this motherfucker in. It's going to work every time. I fucking love this movie, man. I grew up on it. My son never heard of it before, and he was like, "We got to find some more movies like that." Whatever. I fucking love that. He even messaged me this morning talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got a kid, 26 years old, a movie that came out in 84, 85. You know, to have an impact like that, I thought that was pretty cool. And just these are the notes I took to defend this in case you threw this in the same pile as Harry and Son.
I've seen the movie.
This is Kurt Angle's favorite film about wrestling. You got that?
Well, okay, there's been 2 or 3 movies about wrestling, maybe.
And Dana White with UFC fame called Vision Quest, quote, probably the most underrated movie of all time. He said it's probably the best movie on one-on-one combat ever made. That's coming from the guy that fucking started UFC. So like I said, this movie holds up as a fucking gem, man. I fucking love it. The movie, the soundtracks, they just don't make soundtracks like this anymore the way they used to. This is definitely a top 10 80 soundtrack for a movie. It's great, man. This is a good release. I don't know what kind of special features. I don't think have any special features on there. Yeah, I don't see them back. I didn't get a chance to look at them. I don't think there's any special features, but it's a Warner Archive release. Yeah, man, it's a great. We haven't seen it. You got to check it out.
Show me on it, man. I definitely want to check it out.
I'm gonna say 4.5 out of 5. This
Damn.
real fucking easy could be a 5 out of 5 for me. It's just one of those movies that makes me feel good, puts me in a better mood. You know, it's just great.
It's absolutely a Rocky.
Oh yeah, if you're a Rocky Karate Kid fan, you got to fucking watch that. You haven't seen it. So,
the Prince of Pennsylvania would be probably the best real wrestling, collegiate wrestling I've ever seen movie, and it's a documentary, but it's a very interesting documentary. The elite level wrestlers all are in that movie, and it's a really good story. They made a movie about it with Steve Carell. I don't remember what that movie was called. The documentary Prince of Pennsylvania is way better.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I'd check it out. If you're on that wrestling kick already, check out the Prince of Pennsylvania. All right, my next one is from 2019, written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So this is coming off of Maxine, and to me, Maxine ripped this movie off 1,000%. And I kind of just wanted to pop it in and revisit it. This movie benefits heavily from the 1.5X, in my opinion. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that's just Tarantino kind of beating off. A lot of foot stuff. I mean, this movie more than any other is the foot stuff. A lot of Margot Robbie dancing around packing a bag. I get what he was going for. Like, you really want to care about that character and you really want to worry about that character, but basically it follows Rick Dalton and his stunt double Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt as the stunt double, and Leonardo DiCaprio is the aging movie star about to be aged out of the pretty boy stuff, and they're kind of pimping him out as the bad guy on the TV shows and things like that. They're going to run his career into the ground, and he's at a big crossroads, and he's this dumbass like hillbilly from Missouri, and he's kind of like falling for it, and he's just happy to be working, and until Al Pacino comes along and tells him that, explains to him how Hollywood works and how he's pretty much done. And of course you get the famous, in my opinion, it's the famous scene. He's crying in the parking lot to Cliff Booth, who's like this really like kind of ultimate badass. And he puts his sunglasses on Leonardo DiCaprio and says, don't cry in front of the Mexicans.
From the Mexicans.
And so they kind of, it's just him navigating their career. Great little backstory. You're in it for their relationship. They're very opposite, but they are very close at the same time. And it's like I said, he's kind of his gopher. He's kind of everything for the Leo DiCaprio character. He fixes his fucking house for him. He stunt doubles for him. He drives him around because he's got too many fucking DUIs. And this Leo DiCaprio character is such a mess. It's so fun to watch. I told Johnny the other day, I was like, you're slowly evolving into this character. Like the scene where he goes out to fucking yell off the dirty fucking hippies. It's just midnight. He's running a blender. His wife's asleep in the other room. I was like, hey, that's not Johnny Walker. I want mixed drinks. We're doing it now. God damn it.
He was like, you take that mechanical asshole and you get it the fuck off of my street.
Yeah. So this is they've all coined this as Quentin Tarantino's love letter to Hollywood in the 70s. And yeah, I get that. And listen, he deserves it. This is his favorite movie. He got to make his favorite movie. I'm happy for him. A lot of it doesn't work for me. There's a lot of scenes that are just kind of shoehorned in there.
Didn't Bruce Lee's camp have a big problem with?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Even he discussed that on the Joe Rogan Experience. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no.
I think it was like 22 minutes just for that soundbite that Joe Rogan used, and you could definitely tell, like, yeah, Tarantino had to explain a few things, but he said that he was sticking by it. He didn't owe nobody a fucking apology. That he was sticking to what he knew, and that's the fact that Bruce Lee was in fact a fucking cunt on the set.
Everybody knows that. Anybody that knows anybody knows he was a jerk. He was arrogant, and he liked to fight people that didn't know how to fight, and he would do shit like that. And he gets into it with the Cliff Booth character, who, again, all these scenes are put into the movie with Brad Pitt's character just to illustrate what a badass he is, and it all pays off at the end. It all leads to, the Manson murder tie-ins and all that stuff. And you think it's an alternate version of that night that happened with, the Manson horrors. Basically, it's an alternate version. They go to the wrong house and fucking Brad Pitt's there and he beats everybody to death, basically. And it pays off really well. I like it more kind of every rewatch, especially with the benefit of fast forward. Knowing what it is, I saw this in the theater. I've told the story before. This is the closest I've ever gotten to walking out of a movie. Was this movie? I watched it, and I'm just going, where in the fuck is this going? It's all over the place. And then like that scene where he's at the hippie ranch and he's trying to check on his Bruce Stern, and it's taking him for fucking ever to get in that house, and they're just having a conversation endlessly about, he's coming in and you're not coming in. And it's just like, just kick that fucking door down. Kick the fucking door down, go in there and get it over. Then he goes in there and it's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm banging that girl. Whatever. I don't give a shit if there's hippies here or not. It's just, I don't know. And then finally the payoff is what you're in it for. The brutal, the ending. This does it so much better than Maxine. I was really happy to watch this. Again, take it with a grain of salt. After seeing Maxine, this looked like Citizen fucking Kane to me. So even with all the bullshit, the dancing around, the packing the bags, going to parties, the endless driving scenes back and forth to and from this, her going to a movie theater and putting her dirty feet up on the seats just so Quentin Tarantino could look at her feet one more time. I mean, it over and over and over again with the feet stuff. Like I said, he deserves it. He deserves to have his victory lap, and that's what I'd call this movie. He made it for himself. And cost $100 million, far and away his most expensive movie. Probably for the fucking half of it was probably the music they used for this.
And DiCaprio and Pitt had to both take a fucking cut in pay just to make that movie with him.
Yeah, but you got great stuff from Timothy Olyphant all the way to Kurt Russell. It's definitely worth having if you're a Tarantino fan, for sure. I don't rate it as high as some of these other, people that beat off to this movie. I think it's really good. I think it should be a lot shorter, pushing 3 hours, this movie. And there's about, I don't know how many scenes of people just driving somewhere in a fucking car, listening to music. There's no less than 3 scenes of Margot Robbie packing a fucking bag. I'm not exaggerating that. She's packing a bag most of the movie. She has very little dialogue. It's just like, you're supposed to just think she's cute and kind of worry about her because her character name is Sharon Tate. And we all know Sharon Tate and the baby get murdered and the Manson murders at the end of the movie, but obviously that doesn't happen with this. But I think personally, you're in it for DiCaprio and Brad Pitt's friendship and how that all plays out and the wild shit that they get into. And, even like, the little backstories where it just cuts back and it explains why everybody hates Brad Pitt. Like, everybody hates Brad Pitt because his fucking annoying wife accidentally died.
He's like, famous for what? Killed his wife and got away with it. That guy?
The scene where he fights Bruce Lee in this movie. I mean, he does a lot of, you're in it for that stuff. And the rest of the stuff, we could have checked in on Sharon Tate a lot less and her little faggy boyfriend, Roman Polanski, and all that. We could have checked in on them a lot less and got more Brad Pitt, and even Al Pacino is great in this as the Jewish media mogul or whatever the hell he's playing. He's explaining how Hollywood works. But, we could have got more of that. There's a weird James Dean scene in there where he explains that he couldn't have got Sharon Tate because she's into little trolls or whatever. I don't know, just like I said, a lot of fanfare for fanfare's sake. That's what I feel about it. But
when we first started talking about Maxine, and you threw that out there, and the fact that you went straight to that movie and watched after Maxine just because you got that vibe from it, I wasn't thinking like you were reaching like too far for it. But as you kind of like broke that down a little bit there, man, you're fucking 100% right, man. Like, I'm pretty much convinced, man. Yeah, you convinced me that Ty West saw that and was like, you know what I'll do is I'll take the current event of what's going on at that time, and hopefully I can kind of do something where, of course, everybody knows the Manson murder, so hopefully I can take the Night Stalker or somehow work that into my story. But man, like Tarantino fucking delivered at the end, even though we got a fantasy makeup at the end, and Ty West did nothing. He did fucking nothing. Like those parallels never crossed. Maxine never come across Richard Ramirez. I mean, what was the closest significance of that, other than just the bulletins we got in that movie? Was there anything I missed?
Well, as I'm forgetting, I was watching the movie, and it's just on the news in the background, really. But as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, well, fucking Maxine's gonna kick the shit out of Richard Ramirez, just like she stomped that fucking mime's nuts. She's gonna beat the shit out of fucking. She's gonna be the one ripping the shit out of fucking Richard Ramirez because he got beat up by a bunch of people, and they turned him over to the police. So, and there's no tie-in whatsoever. Just kind of runs off a fucking cliff. But
man, especially when it comes to that fucking flick right there, you held up as time has went on. And I've watched that movie so many times. I appreciate it more and more. Just fall in love with it even more every time I watch it. But that fucking guy who's in there at the Playboy Mansion, like you just said, and he's playing James Dean, and he's talking about this one went to England with that one, all that. That dude that played James Dean in that fucking movie had no right to play him whatsoever. I don't know why Tarantino casted him to play James Dean. Like he's just. I don't know, something about that whole fucking scene's not right to me, man. They could have got somebody else better.
Listen, we're not Quentin Tarantino. I mean, clearly, surprise, we're not Quentin Tarantino. But I don't think you had to be Quentin Tarantino to go, that doesn't need to be in there. That doesn't need to be in there. No reason for it to be 240. 2 hours is plenty to tell that story.
He had already lost his longtime editor. She had already passed away at that point by the time Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was made. We could do a whole fucking stream on that movie.
It could have, I think it could have been a lot better, but we did get the payoff. That's really all you needed. I'm really glad I stayed for the payoff. And like I said, by the time the movie ends, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Dalton, has basically just, like I said, he's become Johnny Walker. He's just sitting there. All he wants to do is be left alone. He wants a peace, and these fucking hippies roll up at midnight, and he has had it. And then, of course, they come in the house, the flamethrower sequence, and then his little dialogue after when he's talking to the Tates next door and he's explaining the situation. And they're like, oh, my God, is everybody all right? And he goes, I'll tell you one thing. The fucking hippies sure aren't. They're like barbecued in pieces over there. The dog ripped one of them apart. I don't know. That ending really pulls it together and makes it something, because without that, if they didn't stick that ending, I'm telling you, that thing wouldn't have done. Everybody left the theater, and any problems they might have had with the rest of the movie kind of are, less poignant or less stuck in people's minds after seeing the fucking ending. He's bashing that ginger. The ginger that everybody hates is the one who bashes her face 1,000 times. The annoying Chinese girl or whatever she is just getting mauled the entire sequence. She gets smashed for that fucking can of dog food, and then the dog is just ripping her arms apart, and I don't know. Then she gets barbecued in the pool. Somehow she's in the pool, and she gets hit with a flamethrower, and it's still it still works perfectly.
One of my favorite pieces of dialogue of that whole entire little scene too. We're gonna keep on going on. I'm not trying to drag it out, but the whole part wherever he's talking to Cliff as they're wheeling him out on the gurney, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Don't come to me in no hospital, man. Go lay down with that fine creature in there, man." Yeah. He's like, "Are you kidding me? She took so many fucking sleeping pills. I'm about to call you guys out here to wake her ass up. Come Labor Day, talking about the paramedics. I'll laugh my ass off every time I see the scene. Love that shit.
There's tons of great dialogue in it too. Like when he's shooting that Western, and there's a little kid actor, and their little banter back and forth, and it's a really especially with the benefit of fast forward, really helped the movie for me.
Yeah, man, good fucking pick for sure. Especially after seeing Maxine, man, you kind of tied that together for me for sure. Makes me want to go back and watch it now and just be like, yep, too bad Tom West couldn't execute the same philosophy there. But all right, next up, guys, I'll keep it rolling right here. If I don't hold this up, Brad's gonna fucking probably disown me. This was the first time watch for me. It's been sitting here since I got it from Severin. Bought a couple copies. Brad, I think that was last year. You reached out to me and Benicio wanted a copy. I think I'd imported the Blu-ray from Germany or somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I sent him a copy of it. I've had this one. Severin didn't do a really good job on the packaging, the way the disc sits in it, but I will tell you this was definitely worth every penny of what I spent. That's none other than Frank Henlauer's Bad Biology. This is definitely not a movie you want to put on with the kids in the fucking room. If you do have a wife, thankfully mine's a little open-minded. And I'm telling you, during the whole runtime of this movie, I kept looking over and her fucking jaw was just dangling off the floor. She was like, I can't believe we're watching this shit.
Yeah.
But as much as I love Frank Henlauer and I love this movie, it's definitely not as strong as effort. Basket Case, Brain Damage, Frankenhooker. Those three are the fucking holy grail. This one is not a bad companion piece with it. I'm definitely going to watch it. Of course, it's going to be one I can already see me revisiting it. But shit, man, Brad, help me out with just trying to go with this, man, because this sounds so fucking made up. I don't think anybody who hasn't seen this is going to believe me, but basically, it's about the two perfect people who meet who have the most fucked up conditions ever. We have a girl who can't get enough dick because there's something wrong with her clit, where she can't get enough stimulant. She has babies
after every time she has sex, too. Immediately after.
She fucks the dudes. She's pretty aggressive with them. Uses them. I mean, just like they're just throwaways. I mean, by the time she fucks them, she's out the door before they can basically bust a nut. She'll literally, like, there's one scene where she fucks this dude and she literally goes to a junkyard just to squirt out the baby in the floorboard because she's giving birth 20 minutes later after she gets impregnated. Remind me, have you guys ever seen Fried Barry?
Yeah.
Where he fucks the hooker and immediately she has the baby.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that. So the guy she ends up meeting, he's like a photographer or some bullshit. Well, she's a photographer. She meets him and he's trying to find all these crazy off the street drugs where he's trying to inject all these drugs in his dick because he can't control it. There's like scenes where he's just standing there and his dick's going crazy and is flapping around in his underwear and shit.
Yeah.
And it's what I would call, I hate romance movies, but this is my favorite by far romance flick.
There you go.
You don't own this, I'd highly suggest you definitely get it if you like fucked up films. This will. Severin kind of fucked up that list. I've already looked at that list like 2 different times, and one part of the list they're saying that it's not going to be one of the titles that's going to be eligible for the 50% off MRSVP. And then you look at the bottom and it says title for the first time and Bad Biology sitting right there. So once again, Severin's kind of fucking up their own list. I dig the book with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just one of those people, but if you're not going to give a shit about this book, never look at the write-ups of it, get the standard edition 4K of it. You'll be fine with that. It's an actual plastic case. Go for that. Might even say probably $5 because this will probably be, what, Brad? I think I paid like $55 for this.
It's probably $50 now, and it'll probably be $35 in the sale.
Yeah, you might get the standard one in the actual case. Maybe that might be what, $25? Maybe might say $5 somewhere, $6, something like that.
I have this unrated version. I still haven't watched it yet, but I got the unrated version here.
Yeah,
that's the one I gave. That's when I sent Benicio, and I didn't have this yet because Severin hadn't announced it, so I imported that, and I found this one right here on eBay. And this was a little hard to get because it had like the slip cover that everybody lost for it, apparently.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, this is Shriek Media, I believe. Yeah, it's Shriek Show. But definitely picked that up for a cheap price. And just for some reason, they sat on the shelves for a while. I never got to them. And
that is a Severin title. That is a 1,000% Severin title. I could even see Vinegar Syndrome doing it.
Yep.
That's perfect for Severin. And it's not a very good movie, and it's not for anybody. But I enjoy it. I'm a Frank Henlauer guy, and as that Johnny would put it, it does have its charms. Like, this man has a gigantic, self-aware dick, and he has to invent a contraption to appease it. And it's just this giant machine, and you're seeing little pieces of the machine, and you're not figuring apart. You're not putting it together. What is going on? And it just continues to go wider and wider and wider, and you realize exactly what that machine that's slamming and doing all this crazy shit. If you have kids that are grown, don't watch it with them. I don't care if they're 50
yeah,
years old.
it'd definitely still be uncomfortable. There's even a scene in there where I can watch a ton of shit and not be fazed by it, but there's the first injection scene that he does on his dick. He's literally got his dick hanging out, and it's not showing it full frame, but you can actually see like the vein on the dick as his heart beats, like it's picking up like the bulge from his heartbeat.
Yep.
And you can see him like actually pierce that vein with a needle. And as soon as I saw that, I just like grabbed my shit and I was like, oh no.
It's a one of a kind.
It's one of a kind, 100%.
The closest movie I could say to it would be The Special, which Vinicio recommended to me, and that's the closest that I've ever seen to Bad Biology.
Look, the wife's right there in the chat. She even corrected me too. She's like, it's not that the fact that she had a fucked up clit. She had 7 clits.
Yes, she's an animal, and it's wow. It is a there will never be another movie like it, and there is never. I mean, unless he does a sequel, there will never be another movie like it.
Oh.
Kudos to him, man. He's definitely like I said, those 3 that I mentioned, of course, man, me and you are always going to root for Basket Case till we're dead in the ground. Definitely got to be one of the most fucked up, craziest, best movies of all time. Sequels are nothing to miss out on either. Everybody
they're a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, but everybody just wants to go back to the first one. I got it because it's got the special 4K edition, and they give it this luxury package, and Synops kind of just did them individually. I know Second Sight did the Steelbook that had all 3 of them mashed together, but still, Best Case 2 and 3 never gets the love it got. I was glad when I recommended you those movies and you picked them up and you liked them. But
the sequels I had never seen before, and honestly, I'd forgotten about them. And I went, "Why have I never seen these fucking sequels?" And I saw the sequels, and I'm like, "Yeah, I like them." Basket Case 2 is very underrated.
Henenlotter's boy, man, the main star, man, he's still talking about doing 4. Like, he's been talking about financing that movie now out of his own money for the past 10 years.
Well, it's been in development for a while. Him and Gabe Bartalos are developing 4, and this has been for a long time. They're friends, so who knows? But
yeah, anybody who's wanting to buy it, though, I'll say this though: don't take it as like I'm saying that movie's as good as those 3, like Frankenhooker. Basket Case and Brain Damage. Those are like the holy 3 of the Grail. That's hard for me to even decipher which one of those. I could pick any of those 3, and the next day I'd put them in a different order.
Yeah,
just because I love them so much. But Bad Biology is it deserves. It's good enough where it definitely deserves that unique place right after that on your Frank Henenlotter collection on the shelf. And I think after you let it sit with you for a little bit, you'll definitely run back to it and just be like, Jesus Christ, if I want to watch a fucked up movie, you're probably going to head to that shelf, and it's going to be on there.
Yeah. I think objectively, the Brain Damage is his best. I think objectively. And my favorite is Basket Case. But Frankenhooker is great, and then Bad Biology is kind of a step down from all those, in my opinion. But I don't think he had the money. I don't know what, but it's from what he says, it's exactly what he wanted to do. Yeah. Maybe the effects are kind of weird. It doesn't look like a Frank Henenlotter movie either. It looks like almost a shot on digital movie.
It does. It really does. Of course, man, it's Henenlotter. It's going to be shoestring. What was that? Was it RZA, the Rugged Man? I think, of course, he's a rapper, but he actually helped him finance and write the movie and do the soundtrack for it as well. So that was like Henenlotter's co-partner for that movie. So Henenlotter filmed, but he had a lot of help from him.
I think he should have shot it on 16 millimeter, but these days that'd probably be really expensive. So that's probably why they didn't do it. But if you shot it on 16 millimeter and made it look a little more, grimy, I think he might have hit better. But yeah, Alan's like, I don't know, that's going in the watch pile.
I may watch it tomorrow.
I think you'll dig it, Alan. You'll dig it, man. It's just so fucked up you can't look away from it.
A lot of people putting over Vision Quest.
I gotta see that shit now, man. I still gotta watch Suspect Zero, man, which is another one that I've literally had saved right here to the side where I'm like, I want to watch that bitch.
That's a good one.
That's a winner, yeah. Vision Quest, 3 out of 5. Yep. Never seen that on Pops, or don't remember. Probably don't remember. I think if you watched it, you would remember it. Steve putting it a 10 out of 10. Oh, so I think he's talking about
Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people really celebrate it, man. I get it. I really do. It's just It's too long for me, and the vibing, the vibing that goes on, endless vibing, doesn't really do it for me. The car,
Yeah, Chris.
riding in the car, driving around.
Do yourself a favor, Chris, man. Check that out, man.
Yeah, check it out.
So it's a lengthy runtime, man, but I think you'll dig it.
Oh yeah. On time. Get on that shit, Chris. Yeah. Yeah, the pool scene with flamethrower. Yeah, I mean, listen, no, that's another guy. We'll never know. We'll never know. First of all, he didn't compete. He never competed. He didn't believe in competition. And the stuff where you had these challenge matches, they're very questionable if they ever happened at all. So you can't believe somebody that writes their own biography.
Just not to interrupt you from going from the chat and shit. Did either one of you pick up the box set, the Bruce Lee box set from Arrow Video?
No.
I didn't get it. No. I really only like Enter the Dragon, Fist of the Fury.
I had most of those movies already from Shout Select. Released most of the ones in that set, so I never picked that set up. But I had them all from Shout Select mostly.
This is a nice looking set, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't James Dean. It was Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen, I'm sorry. What the fuck was I thinking? The guy who plays Steve McQueen.
Yeah, I knew exactly.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That fucking guy, I'm telling you, I just can't stand him.
It just didn't work. It didn't work at all, and it was just obvious to me that scene was shoehorned. The ending came out perfect, and it's just like, it's also nice to see the Brad Pitt character, not the Brad Pitt character, well, obviously what he has, but the Leonardo DiCaprio character, Dalton, win one. You know, he goes out on a high note. He's been like depressed the whole movie. He's a raging alcoholic. He has that tirade in the trailer when he keeps blowing his fucking lines. He's like, God damn it, you got to drink every night, every goddamn night. You can't have one. You got to have fucking 8 of them. Listen, if you don't quit drinking, I'm going to blow. He's looking in a mirror. He goes, if you don't quit drinking, I'm going to blow your goddamn brains out tonight. Yeah, pick it up. Pick up the 7 4K. What do you got to lose? Zully's watched a lot of shit. For her to go, that's pretty wild. It's definitely out there.
Yeah, she hung in there. We watched Bad Boy Bubby. She was right there with us.
She's over looking at me and Alan going,
7 of them, yes. All notes. I've seen the other Henry Lauders. I need to see this one after hearing Johnny. Yeah, I don't know if you need to see it, but definitely.
No, I hadn't seen it. I'm gonna check it out. Sure.
It's like I said. There's only one of those. First, the only film I've seen from him is Basket Case, best independent. I mean, for the money, pound for pound, it has to be.
Yeah. But man, check out Frankenhooker and Brain Damage, man. Like, don't let those sequels elude you neither. The sequels fucking hold some special treasure.
Brain Damage is like Basket Case with money. I mean, it's like it was a $3 million, far and away the most money he's ever got. Brain Damage is a winner. Lynchian Itch might suggest Kinds of Kindness. Yeah, that looks good. You sent me a trailer of that. Kinds of Kindness. Weird. Was like this that one with the dogs driving the fucking car. It's like 6 dogs driving a car. I believe I remember right. Johnny, that sounds like my kind of movie, but Severin, he doesn't like Severin. I remember that. It's not a double feature with the Serbian film. The Serbian film is trash. That has no value whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll never watch again.
It's not anything. This is an actual serviceable movie, Bad Biology, not that fucking trash Serbian film. I don't even know why you like that so much. That's, as Alan would say, that's hot garbage. That's fucking sewer water. Chris C, never heard of that film. Steve, you check it out. Yeah, it's a new movie. I think it's just now in theaters. Kinds of Kindness. It sounds like a great family watch, Hagen. Yeah, you're too young for this. This movie will put hair on your back. Non-Brain Mantis. Yorgos Lanthimos anthology. It's an anthology. Okay, almost 3-hour runtime. First 2 stories were strongest to my point. So okay, that I didn't know it was an anthology. I saw well, I guess it would have to be an anthology with the fucking dogs and all the shit. It's the same guy who did Killing of a Sacred Deer and something else I can't think of. My reminders might catch it on streaming. It's acquired taste for most people. Imagine, yeah, definitely. The Arrow set.
Yeah.
Leo's cigarette ads in the
Red Apples.
Yeah, I like the Behind the Green Door musical too as well. I definitely like that little number, man. That was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
He goes fucking. He does an ad in the post credit scene for Red Apple cigarettes. Of course, they're all in the Tarantino movies.
I got a fucking double chin.
Why are you using this fucking angle? He just storms off. He's good. It's gonna be divisive. Yeah, you can't win them all. What are you gonna do? No, Trini. You've lost your mind about certain film. I could not disagree stronger. All I know it's the Lanthimos films. People are going people go, that was fucking weird, but I guess I kind of liked it. That's the exact way it goes with his movies. All right, we are moving right along to number one.
I can't believe to show this fucking movie. This is one here that I know most people probably thinking, I don't want to spoil this for anybody, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody who's look forward to watch this. But Army of Frankensteins. This is another piece of shit Scream Factory put out. But we do got the slip.
Well,
this movie here should be so bad it's good, but it just didn't work. I'm gonna explain the plot, and this is me pretty much in a nutshell. I typed this up. It says, Dr. Tanner Fenske is the one that created the Frankenstein, so it should be Fenske's monster, not Frankenstein's monster. But his sidekick is named Igor. You got a little kid named Igor. So Dr. Tanner Fenske and Ida, y'all keep up now. This is a pretty in-depth plot to get these monsters. Basically, this is an army of Frankensteins back in the Civil War. They get transported back to the Civil War, and you have a bunch of Frankensteins, whatever, trying to free the slaves, so to speak. All right, so Dr. Tanner Fenske and Igor kidnap a dude, and I'm only going deep into this plot because it doesn't deserve this much to be talked about this much, because it's just that fucked up. Dr. Tanner Fenske and Igor kidnap a dude, pulls his eye out to complete the Frankenstein monster, then awakening him, they tear a hole in the space-time shit. All the Frankensteins from multiple universes all get sent back to the Civil War time, along with the Dr. Igor and the dude who lost his fucking eye. Now he has the ability to see from the Frankenstein's perspective and keeps getting visions of the monster killing people. By the way, it's not based on a true story. This is not factual, in case you're wondering. Let's just say there's a scene in this movie where you have Frankenstein, an ex-slave, in a hot air balloon, having a lot of dialogue in a hot air balloon flying through the fucking sky. Got to see it to believe it. It's that fucked up. All these Frankensteins are played by the same actor. They do some kind of trickery where you see 12 of them. There's supposed to be hundreds of them, but you only see 5 or 6 on screen at one given time. It's the same dude. And it's not somebody in makeup. It's a really, really fucking ugly dude they painted green. And that's your Frankenstein. And you got the typical, he falls in love with a girl, she gives him a flower. You got the typical Frankenstein shit. But they're in the Civil War. You get a little bit of gore here and there where they rip off an arm, rip off a leg, that kind of shit.
It's reimagining.
Yeah. And like I said, it was a very stupid premise to get the Frankensteins back into the Civil War. And you basically have this is the best part of the whole fucking movie. The fake mustaches and beards.
Oh, of course.
I mean, they're almost Sleepaway Camp bad. You know the one I'm talking about with the cop that shaved his mustache off and had to come back for reshoots? So they put the fucking black electrical tape on his fucking face. It's supposed to be a mustache. These mustaches are better than that. This one dude's got a beard. The other guy's got a handlebar mustache that it's really fucking comical. So like I said, the best part about this is just seeing all the fake beards and mustaches to make these fucking guys look like they're in the Civil War back in the day. You just got to see it. I can't say it where it sounds interesting. It's just funny.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Civil War.
The movie has a runtime of 1 hour and 49 minutes. 1 hour and 49 minutes I had to watch this garbage. There was some of this I did double time it a little bit. It's putrid, man. It's real fucking bad. And some movies like this, whatever, you can get some enjoyment, some laughable shit, because it's so bad. And this is just fucking stupid. You have Abraham Lincoln in this, who kind of befriends one of the Frankensteins. He ends up saving. Spoiler alert. He ends up saving the president. Whatever. When John Wilkes Booth goes to shoot Abraham Lincoln, he jumps in the way. And fast forward to the final shot. Whatever. This guy has to borrow $5. Whatever. He hands over $5, and instead you have on the $5 bill is a Frankenstein. They changed history.
Oh man,
it's pretty fucking stupid. I mean, like I said, why did this ever get fucking made? Why do I have this in my collection?
This will go right with Inglourious Bastards.
But there's nothing more satisfying to finally watching a piece of shit, taking it off the shelf and getting rid of it, knowing you never got to watch it again, and it's no longer dirtying up your room. Yeah, this is by far. I watched some shit this time around. This is the worst thing I've watched in a long time, really long time. I'm not even going to classify it with a rating. It's so fucking bad, dude. You got John Ferguson, Oklahoma's Count Grigor of Nightmare Theater fame. He was a TV pioneer on the Foreman Scotty show. Some people might know who the fuck this guy is. Unofficially, the longest running horror TV host in the country. I did see him on a documentary one time. He plays the fucking doctor.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Doctor what's his nuts, whatever. Yeah, it's out of the collection. Like I said, I'm getting through all these shitty fucking titles, and it's really satisfying getting them the fuck out of here. But I am giving them due diligence. I'm watching them, hoping I find a gem here and there. But
way to know.
I've had a bad run here. So that's my last one.
Doesn't always pay off.
Definitely did not pay off this case. Army of fucking Frankensteins.
My last one here is, I watched this, and like I said, I call this Tarantino's victory lap. It's the movie he wanted to make. It's the movie he's happiest with. He had a good time making it. Got to work with all the people. He got the stunt woman from Kill Bill and gave her a party, even though she can't act. Whatever her name was, the Australian broad. And it made me think of this movie, which I've only seen once. This is the second time I watched it, and it's 2019's The Irishman. Now, this is in my opinion, Martin Scorsese's victory lap. He got to bring all of his friends together, and they got to do one last movie together, and they had a ball. If there's a little feature on this, they have a little round table, and they're just dying laughing, telling stories about this movie and all the backstory with everybody's the wrong age. Clearly, everybody, you get Al Pacino, De Niro, and Pesci. They're like combined age of 600 apiece, putting them together, and they're playing men various ages from their early 20s to real life age. So it's kind of all over the place as far as that. They use the de-aging technology that kind of worked, kind of didn't work, but like I said, it's his victory lap movie, and it kind of made me want to rewatch. That's what I ended up with this, but it's not a 4K, it's a Blu-ray, it's a Criterion release. Pretty decent release. It's a digipack if you can get with that. But basically, the story is Joe Pesci comes across Robert De Niro's character because his truck's broke down, and he calls him a kid, which is funny. Hey, kid, what's wrong with your truck? And I don't know. The anti-aging stuff I'll just skip over because a lot of it doesn't work. There's a point where Robert De Niro has to beat somebody up, and it looks like Clint Eastwood trying to beat somebody up. Like he can't. He's just too fucking old. It's not working at all. But they de-aged him, and I don't know. They put him back in the war. It looks like Call of Duty. Some of it just doesn't work. But basically, what it is the Robert De Niro character is the Irish man, best friend to both the mob boss that ordered the death of Jimmy Hoffa and Jimmy Hoffa. He's best friends with both of them. And he ends up having to be tasked to kill Jimmy Hoffa by the end of the movie. It's the odyssey of their three friendships together and going through the ages. It's like Robert De Niro plays Frank Sheeran, who admitted to killing Hoffa on his deathbed. Who knows if it's true, what's not. He admitted to a lot of stuff, and it's all in this movie. Basically, he's writing his own biography, so he's like the hero of every story. This Frank Sheeran character played by Robert De Niro. It's like Forrest Gump, the mafia version. He's involved in every major political incident from the time he's 25 till his death, including, Operation Paperclip and the Kennedy assassination and killing multiple high-ranking mob bosses and things like that. So, yeah, good performances. Pesci's really understated and quiet in this, as opposed to his normal loud and crazy stuff. Like I said, a lot of it doesn't work. A lot of it does work. It may be the last solid Scorsese movie. I wouldn't call it a great, but I think it is a victory lap, and I think he deserved it. He always wanted to make this movie, and he got to make it with all the actors he wanted to make it with. And Pacino's really good in this as Hoffa. I would say that 1,000%. That's the best performance in the movie is Pacino as Hoffa going crazy and yelling and getting so upset when Kennedy dies, and they put the fucking at the Teamster Hall, they put the flag at half mast when Kennedy dies. He's like, what the fuck is that? Raise that as high as we can raise it. Because Hoffa hated the Kennedys. And I don't know. I enjoyed it more again this second time. But this movie really benefits from 1.5x. It is very long. I believe it's 3.5 hours long. It's way, way too long. Could have cut an hour easy out of it. Benefits from 1.5 speed, but yeah, it's a Scorsese mob movie. You get all the tracking shots and the stuff that you want, but like I said, some of the anti-aging stuff's not the best, but I enjoyed it for what it is, and you can really tell they're having a good time. That's kind of the best part about it. You can tell that they're really, like it's a victory lap for all these guys, not just Scorsese, but all of them. They get to make one movie together, and the stories I'm sure they had, and just getting back together and remembering the good old days and getting to relive some of those through this movie. But yeah, that was my last one.
Real quick, Rick, check out the roundtable discussion.
Yeah,
that's really lengthy.
I watched the roundtable, and they're talking about Al Pacino is supposed to be 47, and they had to keep redoing the take because he couldn't get out of the fucking chair like a able-bodied person. They're all playing, like I said, various ages. It starts, I don't even know what year it starts, but it ends with their deaths at old age, essentially. But even some of that's good with Robert De Niro when he's old and he's got all the makeup off and he's just an old man. Some of that stuff's really good. They come around to ask him one last time if he could help with the Hoffa investigation. And he's like, you have to talk to my attorney and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, your attorney's dead. And he goes, oh, who did it? Cancer. He's old. He was old. He died of old age. Who are you protecting? Everybody's dead. And he still won't talk.
So it's a great special feature. It's a lengthy special feature that they put on there. And it's like you said, you can kind of tell. I think it looks like they're sitting at like a restaurant setting. I can't tell if it's like a hotel resort.
It's some kind of restaurants all blacked out, and they're in the round talking to each other, and they're telling stories. It's a really great feature, and there's a lot
that they've been in talks with each other. Like they just didn't use each other to bounce plateau their careers and springboards. Like you can kind of tell they kept in touch. Yeah. Like they pretty much made a connection. I mean, shit, look at De Niro. I mean, God, Taxi Driver, how long ago was that? Raging Bull. Those guys are
all fucking legends, that's for sure.
They're all legends, and they all get one last good payday. They'll get paid very well. So $250 million movie, something like that in that neighborhood, and where they all got paid really well. And I think, like I said, it's victory lap for all of them, and it's kind of what it was. I don't think this was ever nominated for any Oscars and stuff like that, but there's a way more good in it than there is bad. That's the way I would describe it. There's a lot of good in it. There's little scenes of dialogue where they meet, and for some reason Hoffa is really obsessed with the time. So if you show up late, it's going to drive him crazy, and he can't get past it. So he just keeps bringing it up. He's like, "No, you have to apologize to me."
There's enemies become enemies on the spot just because of a meeting.
Yeah,
and I'm glad and surprised we got a physical release of it. That was originally released on Netflix, right?
Netflix.
Yep. They don't put out a lot of their shit, so that's kind of surprising.
With the Criterion release. But yeah, they're arguing over the time. It's 10 minutes late is the max, and he's like, I say 15, and of course Robert De Niro goes 12 and a half. And then the other guy that's there to help calm everything down is like, perfect, beautiful, 12 and a half. let's move forward. Let's forget they're arguing.
He shows up like on a Hawaiian shirt, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?"
You show up to a meeting in shorts. He goes, "Well, I'm in Florida. It's hot here." He goes, "I don't give a fuck if it's Timbuktu. I show up to a meeting. I'm in a suit." And they're arguing. They can't even get to the issue because they're so busy arguing over the formalities of the fucking meeting. I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot more the second time. Just based again, fast forward helps a lot. At least 1.5x helps a lot.
All right, guys. For my last one right here, pretty much similar story is just like the Boys Next Door. Revisited that, and then before I knew it, a couple of days later, I was putting it right back in. Same story with this one right here. I think this is another one of those. It's a 7 release that you definitely just have to have, especially if you love the nature of these kind of films. But when Severin put this out, man, they knocked it out of the park. But that is House on the Edge of the Park. Love the hell out of this set right here. David Hess, everybody knows him, of course, from Last House on the Left, the original Wes Craven film. Everybody usually hated his character because he played such a good rapist and just a fucking cynical bastard, that's for sure. And he does not let you down in this movie for sure. Basically, the whole movie it's pretty gritty and grimy. Basically, it's just 2 guys who are friends who work at like a car mechanic shop. They just happen to jump in a car with a bunch of hipsters. This is like, I'm assuming like this is during the early 80s, probably late 70s, somewhere around in there. Jump in a car with them to go head to this party. These guys who are throwing the party and everything are trying to swindle them at a poker game. They had no idea that they just set 2 very dangerous individuals down with them, and David Hess being the most fucking just off the wall character, just completely brutal and violent. Yeah, I love the hell out of this flick right here. I popped it in, went to go watch it by myself, and I was like, God, like I still haven't showed this shit to the wife. So I turned right back around a couple of days later, popped this right back in. I was like, you got to watch this movie with me. And she was just like, damn, man. She's like, that's a gruesome movie. I think the last time we were doing a stream, I was, I think Chris, See the Slasher Dude, was talking about this. But if you can catch this during a Severance sale and nobody really cares about that 88 Films 4K, Severin here, they did a really nice job with not only do you get the movie, a really good Blu-ray of the movie, this ain't a 4K, but you also get that second disc right there, which is the Diodato documentary, which is just as good as that fucking movie. Great documentary. Of course, that third disc is a CD soundtrack. Who the fuck has CD players anymore, I guess? But Severin threw it in there. That was a pretty expensive release when it first came out at the time. I believe it's one of those. Yeah, was it somewhere? It was like a $38 title, right?
$7, yeah.
So if you can get this in the upcoming Severance sale, which we're going to do a Severin video, can't wait.
You might be able to get that.
Yeah, especially if you can get this somewhere between like 15 to 25, I say you definitely got your money's worth. I know 88 Films got the 4K. Everybody's going to be fucking, fuck the Severin title. I'm going to go get the 4K because that's going to be a superior one. I don't think 88 Films got the rights to do the Diodato documentary for this too. So you definitely get that in there though.
I haven't looked at the 88 Films one, but it'd be hard to beat that scan. It looks great. And, you know, like when you talk about like the unwittingly, you know, think they're going to hustle or whatever, you know, this thing. I love David Hess goes to like his murder locker and he's like, oh, what am I going to take over there? You know, he's got all these, and he ends up with the straight razor.
Yep. There's a switchblade sitting right there and he just slides it out the way just to get that straight razor, just to show you that he's thinking a little bit more brutal, a little bit more intimacy with his fucking kill, with his kill weapon.
I mean, it's a good movie. A solid, really underrated movie.
I have that release on the shelf. I haven't got around to it yet, but I'll definitely check it out.
And when you do, definitely check out the special features. David Gregory went to David Hess's house. I believe it looks like they're in Los Angeles, and they're sitting in his living room at first doing an interview. He's pretty down to earth and everything, and he pretty much knew right off the bat that whenever he did The Last House on the Left, that after that he was going to be definitely what he called typecasted, just kind of like how Anthony Perkins was. We're like, well, here you are, you're playing this brutal fucking savage. In one of your first motion pictures, there's this brutal rape scene, and pretty much after that, he knew that anytime he was going to get called up, he was going to play what we call as like, you know, like in westerns, like the heavy, being like, hey, like you're going to be the ruthless guy, you're the bad guy. In the end, you're going to somehow die, get your ass kicked, whatever. I'm not trying to spoil that for anybody, but man, like that's you put that movie in, as soon as they leave that garage and they jump in that car and they get out, they get like upstate New York somewhere, like this really fancy rich house. Like as soon as they get in there and the door shuts, like these kids are just thinking they got these two mechanics just sitting at the table that they're going to hustle out of cards and get some money off of them. And before you know it, David Hess is like, I didn't come here just to lose money to you. I come here to take all of your lives and fucking rape you. Pretty much is the basis premise of that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like I said, there's twists and turns along the way. It's a really it's definitely underrated Severin for sure.
Yeah, man. Definitely glad Severin got that up. And that was I remember when they announced that during that sale when they put that out too. That was during the same time as I feel like it lost a little credibility because everybody was hung up on the fact that we were getting the Bigfoot movie at the same time. I'm trying to fucking think for the life of me now. Night of the Demon. That was the big thing because they got the Demon Dick statue and everything, and everybody just kind of like forgot that, like, hey, House on the Edge of the Park is part of that. And the only release we had of this before this right here was Code Red's Blu-ray, and it looks like garbage.
Shitty ass. That's another thing I wanted to mention about this. Doesn't really look that good, by the way. Kind of surprised at that. It doesn't really look as good as I thought it was going to look. There's parts where it does, and there's parts where it doesn't. Kind of a odd thing for Criterion.
I think Criterion re-release that in 4K at some point.
I would absolutely, I can see that. It's a 4K scan, so it only makes sense. And they like doing that. They've been doing that a lot lately. We'll catch up with the chat and get out of here. This is like the longest last five ever. We spent an hour talking about Pearl.
Yeah, I got to be at work in about 30 minutes.
And Pearl, yeah, we did.
Well, Maxine, yeah, you're right. And Pearl, too, yeah.
Talk about the trilogy again.
Sydney recommendation, California, 1993.
California, man. Love it.
Dark comedy. Brad Pitt, Julia Lewis. Don't think I've seen that one either.
Put your titty up, Adele. You ain't seen California, Brad. You got to see that.
Yeah. And believe it or not, man, it's Brad Pitt who's playing the villain, and David Duchovny is like trying to play like the fucking guy who's trying to hold his sanity together so he doesn't fucking kill everybody.
Brad Pitt is a dirty motherfucker in that movie. Fucking biting his toenails at the fucking dinner table, kind of guy. Put your titty up, Adele. That was so fucking funny.
Another wasted slip, absolutely.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's definitely sci-fi. That has to be.
My wife has heard me say that fucking line to her 1 million times in our 23 years of marriage. Put your titties up, Adele. I've said that to her 1 million times.
I did not see stop motion. I know it's on Shudder. I have not seen it yet. You guys seen stop motion?
I know what it is. I haven't seen it, but yeah.
It's the cover with the girl with the missing face or whatever. Tears a hole in the space-time shit. Let's go to the stream. Steve saying I started and turned around 10 minutes in. Maybe I need to go back. Maybe
you don't need to go back, dude. If you're talking about Frankenstein's, fuck that movie.
Yeah. Heard good things. Wasn't the thing? Yeah, I bet not. Yeah, I mean that's probably fair. I mean, there's a lot of good and there's a lot of stuff that just didn't work, in my opinion.
I think if you grew up, watching Goodfellas, Casino, and watching these guys' movies, whatever, seeing them all together, and Scorsese flick, I mean, it's a must watch. I think. And
if you weren't happy with Danny DeVito's Hoffa with Jack Nicholson, maybe this is a better. A lot of people weren't happy with it, but I like Hoffa too.
I do too, man.
That's a Kino 4K. That's got to be coming, I'm sure. I have the Criterion, still haven't dug into the second watch after Netflix. I mean, that de-aging stuff, it did not work, especially considering they're not able-bodied, and the eyes, like doesn't do anything to their eyes. So their faces are younger, but the eyes are like pale cataract blue fucking icy blue eyes. It just doesn't work. And then De Niro's moving like an elderly man, but he looks 40. I don't know. It's just so. It is what it is.
The scene from The Irishman I'll never forget is definitely, man. It's just the irony of it. They pick the most sickest fucking guy, hitman, who's got cancer. He's coughing up blood, and they send him to go do one of the most important hits that goes completely fucking crazy inside this house, and it gets botched so fast. But to me, it's just like that's where that part of the movie where it was just like, what a bad decision. But I'm so glad a bad decision was made because it was fucking so cinematic. Like it was just that the whole kitchen table scene where they flip that bitch over and it's just going bad. I love that scene.
You're talking about when that's from Sopranos. You're thinking of when they
no, The Irishman.
What scene am I thinking of? I don't know what scene that is.
Right before De Niro gets to the house to roll the body up in the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a house like in Jersey or something like that. But they're having an argument because they're saying like, hey, like, why are they picking him to go do this fucking hit? Like, clearly we can send his son to go do the hit. But it was the whole thing that they wanted him to botch the hit because they figured that he'd get killed in the process.
Yeah, I might have skipped that scene. I really don't remember that.
We've been going for like 3 hours and 18 minutes. I assure you, man, if it's not The Irishman, you're probably right. It's probably The Sopranos, and I'm just jamming those together.
Something like that. I mean, it sounds right because there's a lot of weird stuff that happens in that movie. Like Crazy Joe Gallo supposedly gets killed by Frank Sheeran, where like that's not what happened. Like, everybody knows they caught the guy. It was like just a neighborhood beef, and they just started shooting. It wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't. There's like I said, it's the mafia Forrest Gump. He's inserted in every major thing happening for the last 50 years.
The scene where you got, of course, Robert De Niro comes home and finds out the fucking grocery store fucking owner very rude to his daughter, and he goes back and he, like, right in front of her, he's like, point him out, which one was it, and just fucking brutally stomps him in the face in the street right in front of her and everybody.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned that later in the movie, like why they're so upset with him. It's like, we couldn't even go to you because we knew that if you did, horrible things would happen. People might die. So they couldn't even treat him as a father. That's part of the story. Yeah, Ragnar saying the Joe Spinell doll is back in stock. Yeah. What a surprise.
$40.
Limited edition that's not limited. Exactly.
I'd buy another one if I could sell for $140.
Yeah, I sold mine for $140 a while ago.
That was the ugliest goddamn thing I've ever seen in my life before it came in.
But yes, $40 is back in stock. But a lot of people are going to be pissed at that. There's a lot of people paid a lot of money for that.
The bag that came in was all greasy with pepperoni grease.
Yeah, exactly. That's disgusting. Chris C. will eventually get The Irishman. Martin Scorsese, one of the all-timers, even though it's kind of divisive. Yeah, well, Last Temptation. A lot of people do like that movie, too. It's not my thing. Steve, you ever want to see what it looks like when an 80-year-old man kicks the shit out of somebody's store? Yeah, for inconveniently, yeah. Yeah, Casino's a winner. Goodfellas. I mean, either way, you can't go wrong with either of them.
Yeah, man, both are great.
Dig into the special features, yeah. You should, for sure, on that one. Have not seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet.
Yeah, I haven't took the time to watch that one yet, but
heard good things, but
it's on my list for sure.
I think it's got a big message to it. I wasn't really interested in that. Yeah, he's gone full native. He's a mess. Check it out. Yeah, I have a few. That's for sure. I would have bought any other release if it had it, but yeah, it's second victory lap. Chris, Leo, and De Niro. Yeah, well, I think so. Chris C. 5 Criterion recommendations: Thief, La Llorona, Deep Cover, The Brood, Lost Highway.
The Brood is like a weird one.
Yeah. Something is getting a 4K re-release. I can't remember. It wasn't Lost Highway. It was Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Blue Velvet just got
being a real case, or what's going to be.
I just got that Blu-ray fucking 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I do have Fear Loathing Las Vegas 4K. I got that in my cart right now. I got the Blu-ray, but I want to upgrade that to 4K.
Fuck yeah.
So,
seen that movie twice. I don't understand it at all.
I
don't get what, like, they're going to, he's going to go write a story about a bike race, and none of that happens. If I remember correctly. Or does he does make it to the desert, but does he write a story? I don't know. I remember dinosaurs, a dinosaur orgy, things like that. That's what I remember.
It's a drug movie, 100%, but it's a rebellious drug movie for the time because, I mean, every president that, especially during that whole thing, they were trying to make it where they were just literally giving people 60 years just if you got caught with a joint in your pocket in Vegas because they were trying to crack down on it so bad.
They didn't like drugs in Las Vegas in particular. They still don't, from what I understand. But yeah, he had
Money Ranch, right?
Well, that's not in Vegas, but in Nevada in general. But Las Vegas, they hate drugs. I think that the idea is that drugs slow you down. They want things that's going to get you like stupid and energy. I think that's their idea behind it. But yeah, the Criterion sale is going on. Definitely hit that up if you need some. House and Ages Apart. Yeah, it's hard to argue, honestly. That everybody knows Cannibal Holocaust, but he made a lot of other movies and they're all good.
Sure is. Look at him.
Okay, that's his wife. Yeah.
Yeah. They got some knowledge.
Later Wrangler, we're almost done here. The Demon, sure. Definitely need that. It is a school night. We're about to get off here. Yeah, I saw the steelbook for Late Night of the Devil. Coming the Walmart exclusive. It's not bad, yeah. I'm not sure. I'll probably pick it up.
Definitely
from the Irishman. I don't remember what scene that is for the life of me.
Yeah, the guys.
Like a special box set of Late Night with the Devil.
I didn't know if there was a box set, but there's a.
I got a set coming from fucking somewhere. I pre-ordered, I think. I gotta go back and look. I can't keep track of all the pre-orders I got.
You see with bats.
You see the white bats.
I remember the dinosaur orgy. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally. Sure.
It's one of my favorite movies.
We should have just done a Maxine.
Yeah, on the phone.
We didn't even need 5, but anyway, this is the longest one we've ever done. Normally, we kind of cut it at 2 hours. It kind of went off the rails here tonight, but
that's my fault. Sorry about that again.
It was my fault. I was just rambling on and on about fucking what a problem Maxine was. But yeah, we have something coming up for the Severin sale later this week, I think it is. Yeah, it starts on the 12th, right?
Yeah.
At midnight, we'll do some kind of recommendations
We'll hit Thursday, and then as soon as it hits 12:01 that night, we'll be able to start getting some shit.
Yeah. Who knows what time we'll start? Who knows what we're doing? But we'll be there. We'll go through it.
Yep.
But anyway, I appreciate you guys jumping on, and we will be back for something else coming up soon.
Take care, everybody.
Be good.